name, the Suns and the Power doing battle in a day which is so vital for both teams. The Suns dressed down by their coach post-shock loss to North Melbourne last week. A 4-point defeat at the hands of the Kangas had the coach literally swearing at the state of his team, while Port Adelaide, what are we going to get from them today? They've won their last two, and how the swings and roundabouts of the competition could really be shown. I mean, forget the teal, it's all black and white for Port today, because if they win, they're in the top four. If they lose, they could be outside the top 8 by the end of the day. It's an awesome scene here. The day is fantastic. A few wispy clouds as I look out above the stand out in the Nerang River side, can see the tops of the skyscrapers and the Surfers Paradise skyline in the distance. Red footballs are out, and the Carrara surface is looking a treat for this game, Gold Coast versus Port Adelaide, which then runs into Richmond and Greater Western Sydney, and the West Coast taking on Brisbane. So 3 games, as mentioned, to get through this round 18. There's no late news from the teams. Gold Coast's sub is Will Graham, and Port Adelaide's sub is Frankie Evans, as was the case last week. But a number of changes at selection for the Suns. Tuke Miller's injured. He'll be out for at least a month. So too Sam Day. Alex Sexton and Tom Berry have felt the sharpened axe and have been chopped at selection. David Swallow's not playing as well. Managed, we're told, for the veterans. So Mal Roses, Alex Davies, Jed Walter, Connor Butterick and Lloyd Johnston all coming in to this Gold Coast team. While for Port Adelaide, what's the bearded bushranger got left in him? Charlie Dixon comes back, the man that kicked the first ever goal for the Gold Coast Suns all those years ago. He hasn't played in the AFL since round 13. He was in the twos and got a 3-week whack. So he's back in the AFL following the suspension of Mitch Georgiades. There are storylines abound here, and we can't wait to bring it to you. And rest assured, with that massive news out of the United States, we will keep you right across developments there should anything come to hand while we're here at the football. Michael Price is going to join me to call the action. Pricey, I know you love sun out, red footballs. What a day, and what stakes.
Yeah, absolutely. G'day Q, g'day everybody. Look, this is magnificent. What a setting as we just see the Port Adelaide side win the toss through Connor Rosie, and they'll be kicking to the right of screen, which is the southern end as we're looking at it. A magnificent day on the Gold Coast. The weather is perfect. The ground is good. We are set for an absolute cracker. I'm just a little worried about the lack of experience with the Gold Coast Suns. No Witts, no Swallow, no Day, no Miller. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Looking forward to seeing how the two midfields go about it. And the two Bulls, Horn Francis versus Matt Rowell. I reckon you'd pay just admission to see those two go at it alone, to be honest. Yeah, it's a good point, Michael. It's the ultimate grudge match, in a way. Oh, how Port has never let the Gold Coast forget that they got them first time they played. And Gold Coast hasn't beaten Port since. Gold Coast's first ever win in the AFL was the last time they beat Port Adelaide. 14 wins in a row for the Power. One of their greats joins us in the broadcast box today. Matt Primus, welcome to you.
Good, Q, Pricey. Welcome to our listeners. And yeah, what an amazing day and a huge game. Port win, they go to equal second. Suns keep their final chances alive with the Hawks and Western Bulldogs and Melbourne winning yesterday. So just as the closer end of the season comes, the stakes get higher and higher.
Brownlow medalist Jason Ackermanis alongside Matt in the experts chair. Acker, what are we expecting today?
Well, I have no idea, because they are both very capable teams, and the Suns are pretty much unbeatable at home. So this could be their chance to break that losing streak. Hello, Q, Pricey, and the big mattress we're about to have bounced down. Should be close.
If you want to get in touch throughout the day on the SMS 0437 774 774. Let's play.
It's slightly askew from umpire Broadbent, but it favours the Gold Coast into the hands of Flanders. Handball off immediately to Matt Rowell. They've won the first clearance, the Suns. Inside 50, Aaliyah slaps it down into the ground. Oh, it's picked up there by Lukosius. He's immediately smothered by both Aaliyah and Bergman, 25 metres out from the Suns' goal.
And I won't let our experts get away that cheaply. I will ask for tips in a moment at the next stoppage as Moyle palms away from Sweet, but Rowell is wrapped up immediately by Wines. Who are you tipping, Matt?
Port by 10 points.
Okay, we'll get to Acker in a moment. The ball thrown up once more. Sweet for Port Adelaide, taps down to Houston. Gets a hand pass to Rosie. Rush kick, clear of defence for Port. Dixon's on Collins. Collins leads him to the first one-on-one duel, but Dixon does the roving. Hand passes out the back to Butters, who's at left half back. Kicks to Hon Francis. It's spoiled away from him by the Suns. Flanders does the roving. Rushed kick inside 50. Houston meets it for Port. Hands it to Zirk Thatcher. He hands it then on to Butters, who chips it to half-back, where Byrne-Jones takes the mark.
Nicely measured pass into the path of Burgoyne. That is exactly the same. Into the path of Horn Francis at the arc of 50. He had McAndrew coming at him and just dropped the pill. Now the Gold Coast through...
Butterick, I think it is.
Yeah, it was Butterick. Connor Butterick just coming in out of the shade. He turned it over. It's gone back to full forward. Dixon versus Collins. Now Flanders retreats there for the Gold Coast. And they give it over to Bodie Hewland. He has a laconic bounce and the handball over to Noah Anderson on the arc at right half back.
Poor turnover, that is. That nearly cost them, but they're getting their shape together. Gold Coast, I reckon they'll have an entry here, and it could have...
Who are you tipping, Jace, by the way?
Gold Coast by 18.
Okay, Holman's got the ball short of the wing for the Suns. Will kick the ball to right half forward. No one is near King as he leads and comfortably takes the mark. 60 metres out, right half forward. King kicks deep to full forward. Looking for Walter. He's got a Lear for company. Neither can get a hand on the ball. It bounces in front of the tangling pair and out of play for a throw-in. So Jed Walter coming back into the team. His first game since the round 14 clash against St Kilda.
Well, kick in there by King. He should have been a bit better. He should know what a good kick is, being a forward.
Throw in, right forward pocket for the Suns. Slap forward by Moyle, and once again there's a couple of bodies on it, including Lockie Jones, who peels himself off Bailey Humphries for the Suns and will ball it up.
Name Susan, surely.
Right forward pocket. Off hands to Bergman, just flicked it out to Drew. He's turned it over, picked up by Humphries yet again. He's tackled into the ground holding the ball. Really good tackle there by Drew. And he'll have it in left back pocket for Port Adelaide. Comes across to the goal square to find Alia. He's got a little bit of room. He just saunters up, has a bounce and basically just holds his ground and then finds Lockie Jones 20 metres ahead of him. He in turn to Mead. Mead outside of attacking 50. And they start moving up the corridor. It's going to end up with Ollie Wines just forward, a centre half forward.
Receive from Rosie, now hands to Jones, who runs through centre half back. Long kick to half forward, fly and almost a mark to Lord. Roving there is Byrne-Jones from 40, puts it on his toe, it rolls to an open goal mouth, and it's gone through for a goal.
That's touched.
There was a Suns player coming right at the crucial moment, Jason, but I did not see the goal umpire give the indication of touch. We will go to Noah straight away, though.
Well, I'm calling the goal, Acker.
The goal umpire now tells the field umpire that he thinks it's touched.
Right, Acker.
Just on the line.
Good eyes.
Why does the goal umpire not indicate what his call is? I get that it can be overturned in the arc.
Some confidence.
Give us the indication. That's a rushed behind to Port Adelaide and the first score of the day. It's taken almost 4 minutes.
Interesting, the ball movement. The Port are the number one corridor team in the competition. The Suns are the 18th for going corridor, and they play the widest out of everyone. So, thing to keep an eye on.
It's a 70-metre kick out from fullback from Will Powell. Off hands, Rowell scrubs it forward. Comes into the path there of Ainsworth for the Suns, the left footer. He was looking for Walter, who was trailing behind Alia. Alia attacked the ball 60 metres out, then gave it to Lockie Jones. Bumped off it by Walter, and now the Suns have it with Closey. Back inside 50. Good contest from Dan Houston against Long. He was advantaged by the kick. Takes the defensive mark in the right back pocket. Gets it off to Butters to the run there of Farrell. Now he's at centre half back. He has a bounce and looks to flare it out to the outer side. Dangerous kick. He made a task of it for Byrne-Jones versus Butterick. Butterick got there first. Gathered it on the boundary line. His handball missed McAndrew. He retreats. Gets around Byrne-Jones, just gives the handball off there to Lukosius, back to Andrew. The tackling's good from Port, turnover. Now it's picked up there by Law.
Holding the ball, but they didn't pay advantage.
So they didn't pay the advantage. I was wondering what the umpire was waving at, so it's a free kick to Port, just forward to centre wing out of side.
Charlie Dixon's got the free kick and slices off a very short pass, which is marked by Mead between wing and left half forward, edge of the centre square. Kicks Port into a tap, deep to the pocket, 2-on-2 contest. Lord the target, Collins does the spoiling, and it's out of play for a throw-in. See, Ollie Lord's down there on Sam Collins, but
Too slow getting that in. He had players out everywhere there. You just got to be a bit sharper there and in the corridor.
Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus, your experts on ABC Sport, in gorgeous Sunday conditions on the Gold Coast. Port in attack. Wines has a fumble at the Rove. Costly, he's almost could have had a shot on goal, but hold on. The ump's whistle has gone.
Kick.
Oh, he slipped over and got high contact, did he?
That is unlucky.
That looks like a very fortuitous turn of events for the champ, Ollie Wines. So he's going to have the first set shot of the game, 20 metres out in the left forward pocket.
Renowned for his goal kicking, but he'll take that free kick and could kick there first for the game. What do you reckon, Manny? You reckon he's a chance?
Absolutely.
Of course he is.
He's only missed the one game this year. In closer to the 250 game mark, Ollie Wines, right foot drop punt in perfect conditions is the first goal, and it belongs to Port on this Sunday at Carrara.
Good goal.
The Power 117. The Suns yet to score. 6.5 minutes travelled on ABC Sport.
It's not like they don't know, Matty Primus, that they're going to go through the corridor. Now, they've gotten in there too easily, and some of their uncontested marks and handball receives, you'd like to see the Suns way up on them and be much more one-on-one and then make that pressure incredibly hard.
With a short lead in, neglected to get down to Zane Bojack, who's probably just sunbathing, actually. No, you're in the shadows down there, Zano. How is it, Boundary side?
About to say, it's a bit cooler down here where I am in the shadows of the members stand, but it is warm out there, 21 degrees. Great to have footy in the sunshine here on the Gold Coast, but 4,829 days. Can the Gold Coast Suns break that drought? Port started well.
It's the ultimate payback, isn't it? The fact that it was the Suns' first ever win in the AFL.
We're holding a grudge.
And Port haven't been beaten by them since.
Well, the clearance comes out here for the Gold Coast. Davies to Flanders, back to Anderson, who went right and then left and kicked it straight down the throat there of Logan Evans. Just took it, the shock of red hair there. That was an ordinary kick looking for Lloyd Johnston. Now Evans, straight up the corridor. He found Travis Boak. He's got the runner there in Rosie, out to the logo, outer side wing. He's being chased manfully by Davies. He's corralled him nicely, so Rosie has to retreat back to Evans, put him under pressure with the bouncing pass.
It's better.
Gets out to the right wing now. This is going to be a big contest. Fisted forward by Holman. Bailey Humphries at the foot of that pack, tackled nicely by Burgoyne. Ball stuck underneath him. Umpire circling and will come in and ball it up just between centre wing and left half forward for the Suns on the edge of the centre square.
You're spot on, Acker. The most uncontested marks last week Port had, and the Suns have got to squeeze up and take that away from them.
Sweet won the tap. Doesn't really have an effective rover. There's too many people battling for it at the ground level. Another ball up.
That last play, I reckon they were far better at their pressure. They got a turnover.
1-1 Port lead it early. Moyle for the Suns with a tap down to Davies. Tackled but gets a hand pass clear of the congestion. Burgoyne applies a great lock on Humphrey to lock him up. And we'll see it balled up. How does it make you feel, Matt, to see Burgoyne in number 7 for Port Adelaide?
It brings a little spine up there, a tingle up the spine. It's fantastic to see him, and wearing the number 7 out there. And it moves a bit like the old man too.
Powell's got it off the stoppage. He's on the wing for the Suns. Long kick into attack. Bergman leads the fly for the ball, can't mark rope by Jones. Hands it to Alier. Hands it through Houston. Back to Burgoyne. Point possessing it in the back line and now gets space. Hand pass to Drew. Great kick to the middle of the ground. Butters marks. Weaves away from one, but he can't get away from Hewland. Tackled, holding the ball, play on advantage taken by the Suns. Anderson hand passes to centre half forward, long fine space, and he chips it on the head of Lukosius, and he'll have a shot from 20 metres out directly in front.
Super tackle. Who was that?
Odie Hewland. What a tackle.
Magic tackle. He was dancing, he had the feet going everywhere, but he wrapped him up. Good turnover. Nearly came unstuck, but the poise, a little bit of foot candy, and Lukosius was down there by himself. He had a couple of options in the end.
Yeah, re-signed through till 2026 during the week did Bodie Hewland, and played a huge part in setting up this shot on goal for Jack Lukosius. Point blank range, 25 metres out. Answering goal for Gold Coast. Port lead it by a point at 1-1 straight. 10 minutes played. Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis.
Yeah, they just messed around with it a bit too much then. It's twice Rosie's got caught. He just need to hit. Marshall's out. They'd sagged off and they should have done a short kick. Butters short kick to Marshall, and they would have been weighing over the back and it would have been an easy goal for them, but he just played on a bit too much, tried to take on the defender there, and as you said, Acker, they've pressed up on him. The reason they want to have a lot of uncontested marks is the Suns bring a lot of heat, and if you over handball, they'll create that turnover, and that's the Damien Hardwick style of play. So they want to own the ball, keep it off them, and on that occasion they weren't good enough to do it.
I'm thinking, Matty Promise, that this Burgoyne, this version, is a far better tackler than the other versions of Burgoyne. So I'll just say that. I just will also note the Gold Coast setup. Their forwards, they need to have a chat to them. They have their positioning is horrible, and they are getting turned over because of it.
I'll get you to explain how that's going to work out, Acker, in a second. Ordinary bounce there. It's picked up by Moyle for the Gold Coast. He grabs it out of the ruck and this slams it on the slip at a right half forward. Comes off hands now. It's Drew tackled and dispossessed of the ball. It goes across the arc. Oh, big clash. Moyle on Lockie Jones. Now, was that high? Oh. Jones is down on the arc. He hasn't moved a lot. In fact, he's still face down. There's some concern here.
He's in trouble.
Now, I think Big Ned Moyle might be...
No, it was Alex Davies who came in and got him.
It was Davies.
Yep.
Indeed, it was. And that's...
Similar shock of black hair, Pricey.
Had his head over the ball.
Yeah.
He's up. He's on his one knee. He looks like a guy from the 70s, mind you. I love his hairdo, James. Yeah, I think it dazed him. I don't actually think he's concussed.
Well, but if he's taken that long,
coming off.
This is where the game needs to be very pertinent in ensuring these guys get checked for head injury assessment.
Indeed. Well, he's up and he's jogging off now, and the doctor and physio either side of him, but he is jogging off and heading towards the benches.
It sort of doesn't look great for his brain, but actually looks like his neck.
We just look at but Davies moved his body side on as...
Or whiplash, Jace, that's your concern.
Yeah.
Okay. Zano, how's he look? He's running towards you?
Yeah, look, he looks like he's with it, so I think it might be a concern with his neck, as you mentioned. He's really rolling his head around there, and they are saying it's a head injury assessment, so we'll wait and see. But, I think he's worried about the neck area.
Zane Bojack down on the boundary, so Jones getting looked at. Port with the ball. Alir from defence kicks a long ball towards a pack on the wing. No mark, but roved by Narkle of Port. Gets a hand pass hoping for Mead. He's under pressure but gathers. Toes a grubber into the pocket. Favours Finlayson. Can he pick it up? Yep, but he's tackled as soon as he does. Driven into the deck right near the boundary line.
Fantastic Collins and left Dixon in the goal square to come and do that tackle. If he hadn't, it would have been a shot on goal for Port.
Yeah, one of those ugly entries, Matt.
Just wouldn't sit up for him.
Collins made the big play. Thrown up near the boundary line in the pocket. Sweet taps down for Port. Davies roves though for the Suns. Hand passes to Holman. Hand passes to Anderson. He's close to the boundary near the 50 but gets out. Hand pass to Flanders. Hands it to Andrew. And in tight, the Suns have done well here. Andrew hands it on to Powell and now they get some space in field. Hand pass goes to Ballard. Ballard kicks across the face of goal and Collins takes the grab forward of the back pocket.
He wants to move it reasonably quickly. Finds closely at right half back. His right leg's only a couple of metres inside the boundary line. Now it's all held up in front of him, so he goes to lower his eyes. That's a nice pass to find Bodie Hewlin just short of centre wing.
He'd be handy this week for Queensland, wouldn't he, in the State of Origin?
I tell you what, the way he was tackling before, not a problem. To right half forward, King had the sit, couldn't quite get up there. Nicely roved there by Sweet, gave it back to Farrell. Now he's confronted, tries to measure a pass to Alir. He did well to gather it, gave it back off there through Evans to Boak. Now it's in with Butters, just short of centre wing on the outer side, and the Port are out.
Chip to Drew, who marks on the wing. Hand passes to Houston. Kick inside 50s, marked by Dixon. He is a long way from home, but we've seen this within his wheelhouse across a career which now reaches its 214th game. Charlie Dixon back in the seniors.
Beautiful kick by Houston too, with the pressure coming across his leg to put it out in front for Dicko.
The bearded wonder from Cairns against his old club, where 50 meets boundary paint. He doesn't kick for goal, kicks it to the top of the square. Big pack of players. Ball fisted in the air. Narkle rove snap. It's smothered by Johnston of the Suns. Johnston follows up to tow it out of immediate danger beyond defensive 50 and knocks it further onto the wing. He's rumbled it 40 metres upfield without a stat. Great play, Lloyd Johnston.
Free kick.
Oh, what are they giving a free kick for?
Holding on to him too, Q.
Oh, and he gets a free kick.
Oh, crowd favourite already there, Q. They rose to their feet in the members.
I love that. That was a 3-4-5 effort.
So he gathers the free kick in front of the interchange gates. And that's a long one, looking for Walter in the back position. He did well to recover and slap it forward. It was Davies who was monstered into the ground. The ball stuck underneath a couple of them.
Right, see, there it is again. See, he's stuck behind. See, the Port Adelaide defenders have been inside on the corridor. They've got better positioning. They can do way better than this. I reckon at quarter time, Demo will have a good chat to him.
So the ball thrown up. Oh, Dixon comes in, bucking against Davies. Grabbed it in one hand beautifully. The handball off to Butters. His kick misdirected, cut off there by Collins. Handball back into the corridor to Mac Andrew. That's a long one to right half forward, looking for and finding Ainsworth in front of Farrell.
Super kick.
Right half forward, 60 metres out. Beautiful kick it was, and he puts it straight back towards the point of the centre square to Will Powell. Now he finds someone on the lead. It's King, and he hits him. Delightful lead and a beautiful kick to honour it. King takes it 40 metres out. Very tight angle to the right.
Hey, what they would have liked, they would have liked King to be kicking to his forwards that first time in. It was a horrible kick, but that said, this is what he gets paid to do. He's having such a good year. I really like the way he's kicking for goal. He seems to have a better setup, Matty Promise.
He's starting his run up on the boundary line, and he'll let go from just on 45. The very tight angle. Puts it up there, gives it some room, and it hits the goalpost 2/3 of the way up for one behind. 1-1-7 apiece, 16 and a half gone first term.
Zane Bojak on the boundary.
Yeah, Lockie Jones, I think it's a neck issue. He's gone into the dressing room to get some treatment, guys, but I think we're going to see him a little later on in the match.
Thanks, Zano.
He just looks a bit too athletic, King, early, but 2 weeks ago he played on his brother and did a really good job, so hence that's why the matchup's probably come again.
Houston with a very good inbound. Finds Aaliyah at right half back with a good pass. Marks and plays on with a kick to Burgoyne. Marks on the wing. Plays on with a hand pass to Finlayson. 1-2 play. Burgoyne gets it back. Hand passes into the centre square. That's a bit errant. Butters makes good of it. Wins the ball. Hands it to Boak. Hands it to Houston. They are running it through the middle of the ground. Hand pass to Finlayson. Now the kick's a shocker. He was lucky to get it onto his boot. He's kicked it straight to Hewland at half back for the Suns.
Should have given the handball there with a better kicker. And just another turnover, short turnover too.
Hewland goes with a pass to the left half back flank, marked by Closey. Long kick hoping for Walter. Spoiled down by Bergman. Davies does the roving for the Suns, but he's tackled immediately and holding the ball. Wow.
Oh, he handballed that out. He just didn't see it. He's unsighted the umpire.
So Miles Bergman will get the free kick for Port Adelaide, just defensive side of the broadcast wing. 1-1 apiece on ABC Sport, approaching 18 minutes first term.
Bergman retreats back inside defensive 50 to find Aaliyah. Dangerous kick straight up the corridor, slapped out of the hands there was by Malcolm Roses. Now the Suns have it through Humphreys. Now Will Powell towards right half forward. It's not going to find Ben Long. Farrell just dropped back in.
Oh, that is not.
It was spoiled late there by Ben Long, and so the umpire's going to give 50 metres to Farrell.
That was all in the one action. That's where an umpire needs to know what Aussie rules is about. That is not a 50-metre penalty.
So Kane Farrell, he'll be brought up to 70 metres from goal, straight up the corridor here. He's still inside the centre square, and just about every player on the paddock's forward to halfway.
Slices off a short pass and finds Logan Evans with a mark right on attacking 50. This young man from the mid-season draft that we're still learning about. Very recognisable though, with that shock of red hair, lithe body shape. 52 metres out, doesn't kick for goal, sets it on the head, hoping for Dixon in a pack of 4, but Moyle punches it away, and it's gone through for a point, has it? Yep. There's that goal umpire's a bit slow. It was a bit Sunday drive about that goal up down the end there. That puts Port in front, 1-2 to 1-1.
It's not too deep, that kick. Just need to be another 5 metres out, and it would have made it hard for the defenders to spoil it through.
So it was Joel Jeffrey who brought it back in for the Suns to Will Powell. Long kick towards the outer wing, looking for Andrew. Well spoiled there by Ollie Lord, who went back and grabbed it, handball to Aaliyah. He copped one high too. So he'll get the free kick, the big man, just behind the logo on the outer wing.
He's looking to come in, as they always do, but he might have to go long here, Price.
Yeah, they've set up nicely, so he does go long. He's looking there for Finlayson. Oh, did well there against Ballard to bring the ball to ground. Burn-Jones attacks it, gathers. Handball back to Finlayson. His 8-iron was heading him 5 metres. It was grabbed by Narkle, who spun around and then delivered one to the goal square. Nicely read and cut off by Holman. His pass dangerous, but finds the player in there in Lloyd Johnston in the back pocket.
Horn Francis yet to get a touch. I wonder whether Holman's going hard on him. And here is Holman running from the back line to gather at left half back. Kicks to Moyle, and the big man marks forward of the wing for the Suns.
He's not the guy I'd be tagging if I was to tag a Port player, that's for sure.
Well, he hasn't got a touch yet, Horn Francis, as Moyle from the wing kicks the Suns into attack. Long tried to protect the drop zone, almost took the mark, engaged against Farrell, but the ricochet falls to Farrell of Port, hands it to Aaliyah. Porter out. Aaliyah's chip is marked by Boak at right half back. Plays on with a hand pass to Houston, who can run towards the wing, kick to half forward. Collins leads Horn Francis to the ball. He went beyond him, and then Hewlin comes in to bump Horn Francis off the ball and lock it up. A ball up will take place at right half forward for Port Adelaide. They lead the Suns by a point at 1-2 to 1-1. You're hearing the action live on ABC Sport from Carrara. 21 minutes first term.
Umpire throws it up at right half forward for Port. Beautifully roved by Mead off the contest and went from the arc. The big left footer through. I reckon it might have just bounced past Charlie Ballard. It has. That's a ripping goal there from Mead and Port Adelaide. 2-2-14 plays 1-1-7. We've gone 21 minutes of the first term here at Carrara.
Super goal there for me. He actually just got on that next sort of layer outside the contest on the run, left foot from 50, and he kind of just nearly hit the point post but bounced, and in the end he couldn't even get a finger on it. Who was that then there? Ballard, was it? No.
Yep.
Yeah, Ballard. So a bit unlucky there. Oh my God. Especially when you're a defender, because you're about to run straight headfirst into the point post trying to get a touch on the ball. But that said, Matty Price, that's what they are the best in the comp at, getting it inside in the corridor.
Yeah, they're certainly a big inside 50 team. And just on Horn Francis, he spent the first part of this match all forward. He's just gone inside now. So obviously hasn't got the right matchup. He's had Collins down there, which has beaten him convincingly. We'll see how he can impact the game once he goes on ball. We know what he can do there.
Butters is also starting forward, which is very unusual.
Whether that's a swap now. Yeah, Horn Francis into the bullseye and Butters forward. Centre bounce Moyle with the tap. Picked up by Wines of Port. Hands it to Horn Francis, who's wrapped up by Anderson. It was there prior? No.
And they've done very well. The Suns have won the first three centre bounces. Port are the best team in the comp at scoring from them, so they've taken that away early from them.
Tossed up in the air, still in the middle. Whistle at the contest. Who's going to get that?
Moyle.
It's Moyle's free kick. For an illegal tangle in the ruck contest. Hands it to Jeffrey, who's running off half back. Yes, that is Jeffrey. Long kick into attack for the Suns. Off the pack of a 2-on-2 contest. Bergman picks up for Port Adelaide. A high hoping clearance on the head of Narkle, who's pushed away from the drop zone by Jeffrey. Jeffrey cleverly taps the ball to Flanders, who gathers. Gives back to Jeffrey. Oh, a little one over his shoulder. Nice hand pass from Jeffrey to Holman. Kick to the pocket, looking for Walter, and indeed Jason, the umpire, agrees with you. Bergman illegally tangling with Walter before the ball arrived, and Jed Walter will have a shot from the left forward pocket. Zane on the boundary.
Yeah, I've just been watching Francis Evans warm up. I don't know whether that's an indication of where Lockie Jones is at, but yeah, he's been doing a lot of warming up in the last couple of minutes.
So we'll keep an eye on that as Jed Walter now back in the senior team. This highly regarded key position draft pick from the Palm Beach Currumbin Lions. 2 steps infield, 40 out, right foot kick. It's got enough! Just! Though Farrell's claiming he touched it right on the goal line.
That might be a goal, actually. And so, talk about on the line, who was that? That was Oil to give the big shove, if you don't mind. I reckon that'll be close.
And
it looks like it's touched.
Yep, the goal umpire. Again, so we need to wait for the field umpire to see the goal umpire's call these days. I still think, if the guy thinks it's touched,
angles, we can see the ball's touched before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
It must be hard if you're a goal umpire to not give the natural reaction of the immediate decision, which we have seen for the entirety of our lives.
Yep.
So that's the second, and now it's both ends. So second time we've waited for a call.
Even if you know you can get overruled, just make the call and let that play out.
Yeah, so that's a point, and it's Port 2-2, Gold Coast 1-2.
Here he is.
So the ball brought back in by Farrell. Nicely taken there by Bergman. He went to go back to Farrell. He's spoiled by Closey, but still took the mark. 45 metres with his back to goal. Aggressive kick up the corridor to Aaliyah. Found him at centre half back, just behind the centre square line. Again, his pass. He looks to measure it to Wines. Spoiled by Closey. Closey taken high by Wines. Will get the free kick. 70 from goal to the left side of the centre square. Long kick towards King territory. He was held and got there anyway. Dived to the ground, and they give it to Zirk Thatcher as well, as King takes the mark 20 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, it's just not a good matchup early on. He just his athleticism. He ran back, bumped him, and then got off him, and then his speed off 2 or 3 steps was beat him to the drop of the ball. But once again, they pressed up on the uncontested marks. There was nothing on. They tried to manufacture one. Port Suns are up their backsides. They got the spoil, and a deep inside 50 results in a shot on goal.
So Ben King, 43 goals for the year. Make that 44 as he kicks the Suns second and brings scores level with 25 and a half gone to the first term. It is 2-2, 14 apiece at Carrara.
Yeah, these little short 45 sort of style kicks that Port want to do, but that said, they're onto it, Gold Coast. I think early they got on top, Port, and they did it very well, but just some of the turnovers, Matty promised, they haven't been that. If you're Lee Matthews, they're the worst type of turnovers. These short ones off half-back or even up the field. That said, I'm sure that they'll address it. They are being very aggressive coming through the corridor. But that said, I think both goals from the Suns have been because they've turned it over in there.
Absolutely. And the Suns are getting great numbers through the middle of the ground, so they're taking away all their space. But like both teams are saying, we're going to play our style of play and we'll keep going and see which one gets over the top. But early, the Suns they've defended really well the Port's ball movement.
The voices of former Power captain and coach Matt Primus and Brownlow medalist Jason Ackermanis on ABC Sports. Centre bounce, good tap down from Moyle to Anderson. Suns with the clearance. He hands it defensively to Davies. Here's the kick to half forward on the head of Humphrey, spoiled away by Logan Evans. Ball to be won at right half forward for the Suns on the deck. Lukosius taps it to Humphrey. Evans bumps him off it. The ball goes over the boundary line. Throw in at right half forward for Gold Coast. 2-2 apiece in glorious conditions on this Sunday at Carrara.
Port Adelaide got the most amount of hyphenated last names in the comp.
Well, I got a couple here. Well,
Horn Francis, Zirk Thatcher and Burn Jones playing today, Jason.
Surely that's the most.
throw in across right half forward. Don't know if they've kept that stat over the history, Go.
One of our listeners will have that.
Exactly.
Where won't they around Australia?
Ball's gone back over the boundary line. It'll be a throw in 45 metres out from the Gold Coast Suns goal.
And is Alia the first and only one that's ever had the same first name as last name? Surely.
We'll have to look that one up too. Geez, there's a lot of questions.
Did you have these
notice
questions?
here?
Play on.
It comes off hands. It's going to be a chance here for the Suns as they play on. Oh, dear, Noah Anderson had a flying shot with the advantage and it went to the left of the goalpost. Puts them in front, though. 15 plays 14 with 28 gone to the first term.
Yeah, got away with one there. Anderson, arguably his son's best player all by himself at a fourth.
Oh, wow. Farrell has turned over the kick in. He's kicked it to Long. He was hoping to go for the short pass up the corridor to his skipper. It didn't get to Rosie. And Long intercepts straight in front, 25 metres out.
Another gift.
Another gift. He's too good a player to miss these ones, particularly on a day like today. Perfect conditions.
So Ben Long, his second year at the Suns. Oh, wow, he has missed to the left. What were you saying?
Oh, I'll take that back.
That was a bad miss.
He just looked like inside of the foot, just a bad drop.
Across the face of behind. So that's not the ultimate payment there for that errant power inbound. 2-4 to 2-2.
The ball came into Zirk Thatcher, then a long kick towards centre wing commentary side in the sunshine. It comes off hands. Beautifully done there by Sweet. Gave it off to Wines. He's tackled off it. The pressure's been good from the Suns. It was off hands to Noah Anderson. Pressure good there from the power player in Bergman. It turned it over. Picked up by Connor Butterick for the Suns. He went to the outer wing. Lukosius gathered nicely in front of Rosie. He's on the boundary line. Boy, there's some talent in that match-up of South Australians there in Rosie and Lukosius. Lukosius now sells the big dummy. Didn't quite sell it 100%, and the good pressure from Rosie pushed him. He kicked it out of bounds on the full after selling that dummy. Free kick, Port Adelaide out of side.
It is not a good sales pitch, that one. It was horrible. But that's good pressure from Rosie. And he's the captain, I know, but he's stepped up to the plate this last couple of games.
Just defensive side of the wing. Long kick to set Port into attack. Dixon got one hand. Collins made the spoil and wins the crumb for the Suns. Hands it to Hewlin, given off to Davies. Short kick to the wing, gathered under pressure there by Holman, who hands it to Rowell. Hands it on to Butterick. Tackled, hand passes turned over. Butters picks it up for the power. Hands it off to Farrell. In the middle of the ground, he kicks wide to half forward, hoping for Finlayson. Couldn't mark, but Ballard got over his shoulder. Free kick to Finlayson. even too far out for his prolific boot. He's 65 out. Leaders offered by Lord. Beautiful pass. Lord does not break stride to hug the Sharon to his chest and mark hard in the pocket 30 metres out.
Yeah, Lord played that beautifully. He's obviously a lot bigger size-wise than Andrew, so he went back, gave him a good push in the chest, got separation, and was able to get one on the lead rather than just trying to make it a running race.
And good kick. But that said, it was nearly a very easy turnover. They called it for chopping the arm, so a bit lucky there. I didn't think that was actually the free kick, but that said, beautiful kick.
And right on the quarter-time siren, Ollie Lord will try and put Port Adelaide in front. Goal gets them there, a point halves the deficit. He split the middle from the tough angle. That is a great set shot from Ollie Lord to give the Power the lead right on quarter time.
Very happy with himself too there, just give him...
And there's just a little bit going on after that goal. The Power players coming to celebrate with Lord for his 5th goal of the season. And the Suns sort of came in, and there's still just a little bit going on with players not breaking up to go to their huddles. They're just being held at arm's length. Big Jordan Sweets standing out because he's among the tallest there, and Alex Davies is one of the targets there as they now eventually split. Mac Andrews trying to Horn Francis gives Davies a push. I think Davies might be the focal point of that anyway. It's now broken up, and Port, with that excellent set shot right on the siren, take the lead at quarter time by 4 points. It's Port Adelaide 3 goals 2-20 to Gold Coast's 2-4-16. Wines, Mead and Lord the goals kickers for Port, while for the Suns, Lukosius and King. It's the start of a 3-game Sunday here on ABC Sport as we bring the curtain down on round 18. More from Carrara in a moment, but for now let's get the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. The US Secret Service says Donald Trump is safe after being injured when multiple shots rang out at an election rally in Pennsylvania. The former president had just started his speech when gunshots erupted and he was rushed away by security with what looked to be blood on his face. The Secret Service has also confirmed the shooter is dead, 1 rally attendee was killed, and 2 other spectators were injured. The US President Joe Biden's calling for an end to political violence, saying there's no place for it in America. Law enforcement says the shooting's being treated as an assassination attempt against the former president. Mr. Biden says he's spoken with Donald Trump and he's doing well. Donald Trump, meanwhile, has taken to social media thanking the Secret Service for protecting him. He's also sent his condolences to those who were killed and injured. Mr. Trump says he was shot in the ear and much bleeding took place. Briefly to other news, a powerful construction union could be deregistered after an explosive allegation emerged. 9 newspapers' investigation has alleged underworld figures and bikie gangs have infiltrated the CFMEU and received hundreds of thousands of dollars in government funds. The long-serving Victorian boss of the union, John Setka, quit on Friday, but the government's threatening to take further action. An American fitness guru, Richard Simmons, has died aged 76 in Los Angeles. His daytime television show, where he urged people to eat better and exercise, was shown right across the world, including in Australia, New Zealand and Japan. ABC News.
Empowering entertainment on ABC iView.
There is no more shame.
You have to hold your nerve.
Pick yourself back up again.
Be assertive and stand your ground.
I'm gonna do what I want.
I want a career.
Everything will be alright.
I'm trying to prove that I'm a real musician.
Let your true colours shine bright.
I'm black and I'm the best.
Freeman, The Newsreader, Ladies in Black, A Life in 10 Pictures, and so much more. Always free, always empowering on ABC iView.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Oh, big clash on Lockie Jones. Now, was that high? Oh. Jones is down on the arc.
He looks like he's with it, so I think it might be a concern with his neck, as you mentioned. He's really rolling his head around there, and they are saying it's a head injury assessment, so we'll wait and see.
Leaders offered by Lord. Beautiful pass. Lord does not break stride to hug the Sharon to his chest. He split the middle from the tough angle. That is a great set shot from Ollie Lord to give the Power the lead right on quarter time.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
It's Port Adelaide leading by 4 points at quarter time under gorgeous sunny Sunday skies at Carrara. Quentin Hull and the team with you. It's Port 3-2, 20 Gold Coast 2-4-16 to come. Richmond playing Greater Western Sydney, and then West Coast playing Brisbane. They're the two games which will complete round 18. All of them available for you on the ABC Listen app. You can make your choice on the AFL or AFL Extra button if you've gone to the app to listen to us. Nice to have you on board here in what is an absolutely stunning setting for this game of footy. Before our experts, Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis, you heard the highlights there. There's concern for Lachie Jones after a heavy collision in the first term. Zane Bojak's got the latest from the boundary.
Yeah, he's fallen foul of concussion cue. He has been subbed out of the contest, and Francis Evans has come in jersey 31.
So we double the number of Evanses. Where do you put that apostrophe at the end of the S, don't you? Without an extra S. So Frankie Evans joins Logan Evans out there with Lachie Jones out concussed. Matt, Jason, thoughts on the first term? Port by 4 points.
Well, a very quick up and back game. Not many stoppages apart from centre bounces. Just flowed up and down the ground. The Port started early with their uncontested marks and handball receives, but the Suns were able to get what Dimmer likes to call their forward half turnover game going. And while the Port at times took a bit off it, tried to take off too much than they could afford to do with some of their short kicks, the Suns were able to sweat on them and create a couple of turnovers in their front half and score. Anderson and Flanders started really well on ball. As we mentioned, Horn Francis didn't have too much, but played majority of the time forward. But a pretty even game, contrasting style of games. At the moment, you'd say the Suns, not only just on the scoreboard, but when you're looking at the game here, they're on top early in the first quarter.
Well, it's a quality football, but then again, the turnovers from Port, that'll be what's frustrating any coach. I tell you, that's a coach killer. They have turned the ball over just on these short 45 kicks or even the shorter kicks inside of the
and Ford is zipping the centre bounce to the Suns, so that's a great centre bounce start for them early on. As I mentioned, Port number one scoring team from that source.
Farrell's had 12 possessions in the first term to lead all comers, best for the Suns. Anderson and Flanders have 9. As we get the second term underway with Michael Price.
So Moyle got it down, but it's sharked there by Port. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to come back to the Suns. Alex Davies.
Horn Francis, he's given away more free kicks than touches.
Well, he hasn't had a touch yet, Acker, so you're dead right. It's a big kick from Davies to the front of the square. It was off the hands of King. Aaliyah tackled off it by Holman. The ball gathered by Burgoyne. Under pressure, he tumbles a kick out. It was really nicely taken there by Will Powell. Nice mark just forward to centre wing on the outer side. In the beautiful sun at Carrara, he measures a kick and King slipped over. Just getting in front there was Logan Evans, the shock of red hair, in the right back pocket for Port Adelaide.
Poor kick in there, straight on his head. Too easy to turn it over.
Very short pass to Jace Burgoyne, who's defensive side of the 50 arc at right half back, right on the boundary, and he just chips it over the man on the mark to Drew.
Is there any more Burgoynes coming through besides him?
There is another one.
There's another one
through next year, yes.
Okay.
Drew does in kind, chips over the man on the mark to Houston. So they've moved it to right half back, and now Houston kicks it back from where it started to Logan Evans. It's just forward of the right back pocket for Port Adelaide. The Power lead the game by 4 points. He doesn't like anything downfield deep, so gives it back to Houston.
There's some Camperales coming through too, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll end up at the Blues as long as the AFL doesn't muck that up.
Oh dear.
Acker,
Yep.
nice kick to the wing from Houston. The mark is taken by Butters.
Definitely not doing the handball receives, which got him into trouble.
Incredibly precise, isn't it, Matt? Yep. Butters' kick is good. It's marked by Rosie. Here's a bit of play on. Hands it over the top to Mead on the half-forward flank, 60 out. Kicks around the boundary line looking for the lead of Marshall, but it's spoiled away by Ballard, out of play. So a rather conservative movement to get the 50-50 with the throw-in at right half-forward for Port.
The handball receive in your front half's okay because you can defend that if you turn it over. It's in the back half, which cost Port Adelaide in the first quarter.
And Todd Marshall still yet to get a touch, as well as Jason Horn-Francis from Port, as the throw-in comes across half-forward through the hands of Horn-Francis. Just handball away from Humphrey, nicely taken there by Rosie. He gave it to Butters, now on the point of the centre square. He had Houston going past, gathered, really well done into the right forward pocket and punched away from Mead over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in, about 35 metres out. Forward pocket for Port.
We want to see a little bit more out of their taller forwards. Dixon probably there.
Conservative start to this second term. Port by 4 points early doors as it comes off the hands of Moyle back into his hands. His handball cut off there by Butters. Hooks it around to the top of the square. Nicely reeled in with the one mitt from Charlie Ballard, the boy from Sturt. And he takes it at left back pocket for the Suns.
And taking a moment to work out what to do, Hoofs a long, hoping ball to the wing. Sweet leads the race and takes the mark. That was not a great exit from the Suns. And Sweet's got it for Port Adelaide, forward of the wing on the Nerang Riverside. Looking to set Port forward again. Kicks it. Come down about 40 metres out. Hewland flies for the Suns, can't mark. Rode by Narkle. Toe pokes it to full forward for Port. Marshall taps it to the advantage of Logan Evans. Hand passes defensively to Finlayson. 40 out, chip the full forward is a poor kick. Nowhere near a teammate. Closey takes an uncontested mark for the Suns at full back and an effective transfer. Nice pass to right half back. Connor Butterick takes the grab on D50.
But that entry, that's where Marshall needs to be, to use his height, and he's on Mac Andrew there at the moment, so that's a good matchup for Port.
Butterick with a nice pass. It's Ben Ainsworth on the lead. He's right on the boundary line, right in front of us, just short of centre wing on the commentary side of Carrara. Just as the awnings from the grandstand shade over this part of the ground. Long kick towards Moyle as he dragged it in second. Grab no, punched away from him. Gathered by Flanders. He's tackled into the logo. Well done by Rosie, and we'll get a ball up. The logo on the commentary side. The umpire threw it up really quickly off the hands of Moyle, through the hands of Davies, and then Horn Francis was taken high. No.
Yeah. He's got frustrated and given Flanders extra sauce on that one and chucked him into the deck after he gave away the free kick, and rightfully so. The Suns are remonstrating.
He's having a dirty day so far, Jason Horn-Francis. Hasn't touched it, and he's given away a 50 here as well. So
he's had 3 tackles and given away 2 free kicks. They're his stats so far.
So he's very much in the red, as we would suggest on financial books. But it's got to go to Connor Butterick, and he's going to be taken down even further. It's with Sam Flanders. From 40 metres out, slight angle to the right, Flanders. He nurses it through, beautifully kicked. And the Suns extend or get into that lead. The bugle heralds it, 3-4-22, plays 3-2-20, 2-point lead to the Suns.
Yeah, they're just putting lots of bodies around him. He's fumbled the last 3 stoppages when he's tried to burst through, as we used to seeing him do, but he's fumbled them, or there's been a lot more bodies and traffic around him. He's now coming off for a chat. I'm sure Kenny will get on the blower to him, or he's down on the bench. Normally Kenny will have a chat to him, but yeah, just frustrated, and then just undisciplined free kick to give away after another fumble.
Yeah, and that's not what you need if you're Port Adelaide, who are playing good footy, but they've just made that tweak, Q, where they're just going a little bit wider and just a bit safer in the back half.
This is a good-looking day at the football, isn't it? We've got traditional black, traditional red, sun out, red Sharon. It's a very good-looking game of football outside of the footy that's being played, which is high stakes, except for that bounce, which almost hit the window of the broadcast box here. It came that far towards the broadcast wing. You get what I'm saying? I love traditional strips. I love a sunny day, about 17, 18 degrees. It's just gorgeous. From the stoppage, kicked off the ground by Rosie to get it to half forward for Port, but Butterick first to meet it for the Suns. Hand passes to Rowell, hands it to Flanders in tight. Rush kick to a 2-on-2 on the wing, but Lukosius is in front, and Marks and Johnston peels away to provide the handball option. Receives, bounces, runs to 50, shoots deep. Great goal! Lloyd Johnston streaming through the left half forward flank. 2 in a row for the Suns, and they lead by 8 points. See, it is a good looking day when you get footy played like that, Matt Promis and Jason Ackermanis.
Absolutely, and Rowell and Flanders, Paul won that centre bounce, but it was a dirty trickle one just outside the centre square, but Rowell and Flanders won the ball straight off out of the centre bounce. The ground ball, they beat their Port's opposition numbers, and then they were able to get a good contest on the wing, and then 2 Port players crashed into each other and a beautiful finish. But they are just getting outworked through the midfield, Port Adelaide's midfield at the moment.
And they're standing up in the tackle, Matty Promise, which is what you said. And that was a good mark. I think it was Lukosius, but played on real quick Johnson. And what a goal. That crowd love him, and they're going to love him even more when he does that and gets out and kicks it on the run from 45 every day of the week. They love that.
Very confident, taking the shot himself. He had a couple there waiting for him as well. He very convinced of his own abilities, and well done. This time Port get it out of the middle. It's with Butters. He kicks it immediately inside 50. The contest was smashed there by Sam Cole. Fisted it out towards left half back for the Suns, and Holman takes it over.
Oh, trouble.
Yeah, Todd Marshall is down with... it's clutching his right hamstring or glute. Yeah. And I think it was friendly fire. I think Big Charlie ran through him.
You know, remember the other night there was one like that, and we thought, I think it was Dacos did it, but he actually got a knee in the hammy.
Yes, a bit of a cork. We'll just keep an eye on Marshall there as the umpire throws it up at left half back, gathered by Burgoyne, and he's tackled by both Humphrey and Matt Rowell. So we'll ball it up between wing and half back for the Suns.
Yeah, just trying to stretch it out, Marshall. I think it is a contact injury, Aki. You're right. Rode by Rosie from the stoppage at right half forward. Deep entry. And Big Mac! Well, he flew, but he didn't take the mark. Collins was in front of him. So Collins takes the grab, and we were shielded. Our angle, all we could see was Andrew flying and the ooh and the ah from the crowd, but Collins got it.
Marshall's no good. He's limping off. He looks like that. Definitely a hamstring.
Yeah, okay. Suns have turned it over, going to halfway. Farrell intercepts. Ball into the middle for Butters. Entry for Port Adelaide. Dixon there, can't mark. Rove by Mead. Under pressure. Hand pass doesn't find a teammate. Stolen by Lukosius of the Suns. Not a great handball. Flanders has got a couple around him. He's tackled. And it will be a ball up on attacking 50. Zeno, you've got Todd Marshall limping towards you.
Yeah, look, he's really struggling, Q, with that. I think it's definitely a hamstring. And look, they're already down. Georgiades too. So who's going to kick the goals? They're really starting to lose their big men.
And Lockie Jones is subbed out of the game with concussion. So Francis Evans, the sub, is already into the contest for Port Adelaide.
So they could be down to 3 men on the bench as Wines takes it out of the ruck contest. Off a step. He kicks it to... Oh! Ballard flew, and it was the man in Evans, the sub. It came off his hands. Narkle has a ping from the right forward pocket. Hits the post on the padding. It's going to be one behind. 28 plays 21. 7 points the margin in favour of the Suns as Johnston has it at right half back from the quick kick in.
Very quick kick in. Kicks it towards Long. Alia makes the spoil. Wins the crumb for Port, but his hand pass can't create. Too tight to the boundary. Over for a throw in. So a bit happening here early on. Is Mitch Georgiades suspended. Charlie Dixon coming back into the team, and now Todd Marshall on the bench getting a right leg issue looked at. Gold Coast leading the game by 7 points. Throwing it left half forward for Port, but rowed by Anderson of the Suns. He kicks from right half back, too deep for Long. Alia too good in the one-on-one, favoured by the flight of the ball, and he takes the grab. The Port defender at left half back. Spent a lot of his formative time in this part of the world, Alia. Yeah, short pass wasn't 15. Wines has called the play on. Does comfortably with a hand pass to Butters. Bounces laterally across half-back. Chips a short ball to Farrell at centre half-back. Chips a short pass to the bullseye. Burgoyne marks. Hands it back to Houston, who gives it out to the wing for Alia. Kick to half-forward for the Power. Sweet the target. Couldn't take the mark. Boak roved and tackled by Davies. Illegal disposal. Well done, Alex Davies on the Port champ to win the free kick for the Suns at right half-back. Gold Coast 4-4-28, Port Adelaide 3-3-21, 11 minutes played, second turn.
Beautifully measured kick there from Davies into the path of Flanders. He gave the hands off to Closey to right half-forward. Ben Long, advantaged by the kick, couldn't reel it in. Brilliantly done by Burgoyne as he went past Long. He copped one around the chop, so he gets a free kick. Where the arc meets the boundary, he chips it forward. That's barely 10, let alone 15 metres. Finds Stan Houston at left half back, who wants to slow things down. Measures it to Wines. Flanders flying over the top. They both missed the ball. At the back, Boak. Sweeping handball back into the middle to Sweet. Gave it off to the run of Bergman onto the logo. He drills it into the centre of the ground. Butters, he's got a runner there. Gives it off there to Farrell. The left foot into the pocket. Will Mead get there? No, it was actually Evans. It went past his hands over the boundary line. Frustrating. We'll get a throw in right forward pocket.
Well, Dixon was the option. It was a more central kick. It was just far too wide out and right on the boundary line. Dixon was definitely the option. He had Collins done for probably the first time today.
That was the most beautiful build-up for the, well, not most beautiful of entries. It's a boundary throw-in for Port in attack. Sweet taps it out the back. Rosie tries to kick it out of the air, doesn't create much. Tapped on by Lord, but stolen by Collins of the Suns. Hands it to Closey, runs to the pocket. Exiting kick to half-back, sets a task of Humphrey. Paddles it in front of himself. He's got two power men against him. Gathers, tackled by Houston, and handed it over the top of that second man. Boak, great play. Anderson arrives to help. Gathers, rides the Boak tackle. Hands it to Ballard, took too long. Houston applies the tackle. That's holding the ball. Port take the advantage quickly. Houston hands it to Finlayson. Kicks it to left half forward when Narkle marks. 10 in from the boundary, 60 from home at left half forward.
Sweet as a mismatch deep against two smalls.
Taking his time, Narkle, he wants Dixon, he gets it, no, doesn't get there. Collins is in front and it takes the mark. And Collins has been in front of Dixon for most of that one-on-one so far as Collins chips off a short pass and Anderson marks it.
If you saw those two blokes walk into a party, you know there's two Harley Davidsons parked outside as the Gold Coast bring it to left half back. Flanders, that's a nice handball off to the run of Holman. His left foot is sublime and it hits Ben King. A long way up the ground, he gathers. That's a beautiful pass as well to left half forward to Long. Inside 50, now Lukosius, another great kick. That was just good foot skills up and down the wing. Lukosius takes the mark 30 metres out. It's a sharp angle to the left.
It's not that common that you see a forward running towards goal to get a kick like that, but super hard running from the coaches. You can see he's blowing a bit, so he's just having a quick couple of big breaths before he has this shot, but good ball movement. Both teams, actually. Let's see who can actually make the most of it and score.
He's shaping to do the curl around the corner with the right boot. Does so from 35, Lukosius. Well done, his second goal. And the Suns extend their lead, 5-4-34, play 3-3-21. It's 13 points the margin, 13 and a half gone second term on ABC Sport, and Zane Bojak's on the boundary.
Yeah, look, Todd Marshall's looking resigned to the fact that he can't play on, but I think it's more of a cork, actually, rather than a hamstring strain, because they did a lot of work around that glute back of the thigh area. So I think he's struggling with the contact injuries, contusion. So, yeah, I don't know whether he's going to be able to go on, though. He looks like he's resigned to not being able to play anymore.
I think
they're not much fun.
Charlie Dixon who ran into the back of him.
Yeah. They make it feel like your hamstring is actually way worse than it is, even though it's a contact. It does feel like you've torn it so badly that it's just mentally you actually can't get into a big enough stride.
3 goals straight for the Suns, just 1 behind for Port so far in this quarter. Dixon's into the ruck. Moyle beats him pointlessly, taps it down to Rowell, who can't gather though. It falls on Charlie's head. He's tackled, shovels it out. Rowell jumps on it. He's jumped on the ball and holding the ball.
Yeah, dived on it.
That is hot. It was tackled by Rosie. Hand passes immediately to Butters. Chips to half forward for Port. Jeffrey leaves his man to fly for the Suns. Can't mark, but wins his own crumb. Hand passes intercepted. Coming out, Mead taps it. It doesn't have a teammate though. Davies wins the ricochet ball for the Suns. Hand passes to Moyle. Clears from half back with a long kick to the wing. And guess who's on the end of it? Long at the end of the long kick. He takes the mark. Kicks to half forward. Bad kick. And Zirk Thatcher coming out from the fence takes an uncontested chest mark for Port at right half back. Hand passes to Burgoyne. Short pass to Mead. Not 15 play on, so Mead hands it back to Burgoyne. From right half back, long kick to half forward. Lord the target, tangles with Collins. And the ump says
Collins.
Legal from Ollie Lord. Free kick to Sam Collins, who's having a very, very good year and a very good start to this game for the Suns. He's got it at left half back. Gold Coast by 13 points.
He plays on. It's a good kick, just short of half forward. At ground level, Burgoyne gets there first. King was just bearing down on the ball, and where the arc meets the boundary at left half forward for the Suns, the ball will be thrown in. Just having a look at this quarter, 11 inside 50s to 6 in favour of Port, but their 3 goals have all come to the Gold Coast. Port yet to score.
They just don't have a winner forward. All their tall key backs are dominating Port's key forwards at the moment.
So the throw in across half forward for the Suns. Off hands, Rowell, the bull, tackled. Got his handball away to neighbouring Flanders, then to the run of Bodie Hewlin. Powell dances through traffic, broke a tackle from Burne-Jones. Then the nice smother came from Butters. Turnover, Port have it. It came from Drew, back to Butters. He's turned it over now. Bodie Hewlin had it, and Butters was dealt with as he got rid of the ball. So it's going to be a free kick to Port Adelaide in the middle of the ground, and we'll end up going back to Butters.
There's advantage, then no advantage. And anyway, Butters has got it with a short pass. Rosie takes the grab near the bullseye. Gold Coast 5-4-34, Port 3-3-21. You're hearing it on ABC Sport Live from Carrara. Butters passes out to Wines, who hands it back to Butters. Long kick inside 50, fisted off the pack. Dixon's trying to be first to get there. The old legs don't move as quick as they used to, but the arms are strong. He locks onto the tackle of Closey. Ball spills free. Horn Francis 60 out for the power. Hands it to Wines from 55, kicks it to the goal mouth, but flying high. Powell takes the grab for the Suns. They are all at sea going forward at the moment, the power. As Powell chips off a short pass, Jeffrey marks it forward to fullback, kicks down the corridor. Great mark from Bergman. 1-on-1, he wrestled away from Lukosius to take the grab. And from the middle, plays on to pump Port back into attack. Flying from Horn Francis, Andrew with the spoil. Rode by Dixon, too long. Rowell tackled him, ball spilled free. Closey's kick is smothered off the boot by Drew. Dixon's over it. He can't do much with it. Rowell has a go. Drew hassles him. Comes to Burne-Jones of Port. Hard footy to win, about 25 from Port's goal. Powell jumps in. He's wrapped up. Ball it up.
Yeah, they just can't mark it, Q, as you mentioned. Their key backs are marking the ball. Even their small backs of the Suns are marking the ball. They just can't get win. That's probably the first time they've been able to lock it in this quarter, Port Adelaide.
Umpire throws it up 30 metres from the Port goal. Dixon clears the area, smacks it out into the path of Finlayson. The handball to Butters across the arc. He retreats to the point of the centre square to find Bergman. The run comes from Farrell. A long left footer he is. That's a wobbly looking kick though. It's a very poor kick, and it finds Collins, who's just stopping everything. His 15-metre pass straight up the ground to McAndrew. He flares it out to the right. Now Will Powell lowers the eyes, finds Bailey Humphrey. So just using the ball well, the Gold Coast to extract it in defence. Port just can't score at the moment. Haven't done so this quarter. Long kick there from Humphrey towards right half forward. It was a wrestle between Jed Walter and Alia. Walter didn't like it. They both missed the ball as Walter fell to ground. It went over the boundary line at right half forward. 55 out for a throw in.
And there's a social media post from the Power saying that Todd Marshall will not return today. They've indicated it's a hip injury on social media.
It was an awkward fall, and you were right. Big Charlie fell into him.
Yeah, so Marshall out of the game. They're down to 3 on the bench. The subs activated already with Lockie Jones out concussed. High contact here, and Frankie Evans, the sub, he was the man who got taken high. He'll get the free kick for Port at left half back. Evans uses his right boot to clear defence. Long ball to a 50-50 on the wing. Whistle before the ball arrives. Who's getting that one? Yeah, it's a Gold Coast free kick. Big Ned's got it.
Against Sweet.
Ned Moyle was shepherded out of it. Hand passes to Jeffrey. Kicks the Suns to attacking 50 through the hands of Walter. Spoiled by Alia and out of play as Walter follows up the tackle. Connor Rosie into the dirt out there. And I use that more descriptively as a non-accurate term because the ground is in pristine condition.
I reckon Jed will get better and better. As he gets more experience, he'll start to really he's had to sit twice. He just hasn't had that experience and body work to take those marks.
Yeah, he had the perfect position there, didn't he, Acker? Slapped down by Moyle from the throw in. Well done by Davies. Off a step, he puts it towards the top of the square. Coming out. Gee, that's courageous. Coming out, I think it was Zerk Thatcher. It was. He just...
Margaret.
Slid along the Margaret, you idiot. And it came across there towards... Oh, I've got nothing, Q, now. He's killed me. Butters has taken the mark.
He comes up with some good ones, Jason, but that one's...
Margaret Zerk-Thatcher.
Well, he is the man who gave Craig McRae his nickname.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It wasn't even that hard.
Well, and the fly came not because of his diminutive nature, but because, what was it, Jason?
It was McFly out of, Back to the Future.
He looked like Marty McFly.
He said that's too long. Just get rid of the Mc.
Yep. So, the Powell, meanwhile, chip mark. Kick to the wing where Evans, that's Frankie, takes the mark. He kicks it on Narkle's head. Narkle takes the mark, 60 out, left half forward. Long kick, deep Finlayson. The target got the field to beat, and the field wins by knocking it through for a point. Most notably, it was Bodie Hewland with the telling hand there. Deep entry, one behind. Gold Coast 5-4-34 to Port Adelaide 3-4-22. Bit of a dicey inbound, and it's made good by Mead. Well, no, stolen by Mead, given off to Boak, who has a shot, and he misses near side. Sorry, Michael. I thought giving the score would have been enough time, but no.
Just no.
So what have we got? 3-4 becomes 3-5 now. 5-4 to 3-5.
Giving you no time whatsoever to do things now with these quick kick-ins. It's with Will Powell. Strolls out of the goal square, kicks it towards centre wing, commentary side. Moyle did well, couldn't quite take the mark in the end. Davies at ground level had it, flung a handball out. It was cut off by Bergman. He put it in front of the sub that's been activated, Francis Evans. He lets go the ball. Gave it to Rowell. Rowell with the handball under pressure back to Joel Jeffrey. Does he manage to keep it in with a kick down the line? No, he doesn't. It's out of bounds on the full. Free kick goes to Logan Evans. Back in board. He's really attacked the man, Alex Davies, when he's got the opportunity for a free kick against Butters.
He's played with some aggression today. It's the best game I've seen him play also.
Well, that's why they're into him a bit, I think, Matt. Short pass from Butters is marked by Bergman. True centre wing. High kick from Bergman into attack for Port. Finlayson! Oh, he's claiming the mark. Ballard Sport. He looked at the ump. Play on, says the ump. Powell picks it up from the deck for the Suns. Hand passes to Holman. Hands it off to Jeffrey. Runs to right half back. Kicks it towards the wing. Over the head of Zirk Thatcher. Gathered by King near the boundary. Zirk Thatcher comes at him, but King gets a kick deep. It's a tough assignment there for Farrell. Front on spoil. No, he got it away from Long, but roving is Roses. And Malcolm Roses. Well, it's the battle of the beautiful flowers today. This is Roses with the left foot finish for Gold Coast to give them a 17-point lead. 6 goals 4, 40 to Port Adelaide's 3 goals 5, 23. And Mal Roses Jr. kicks his 9th goal of the year, and that's 4 goals straight to 3 behinds in this term for the Suns.
And just contrasting styles. I reckon that's 3 goals this quarter. The Suns have gone coast to coast nearly, and they just cannot find a winner, as we've mentioned a few times in this quarter, in their back, in their forward 50 Port, and it's just bounding out of there. There's no pressure, there's no chase. Port's backs are under the pump, their mids are getting it, and they've got too many crafty small forwards and athletic forwards one-on-one when the ball's moving quick, and that's why they're scoring too easy. So some alarm bells ringing. They can't get the matchup right. Horn Francis is still playing forward. They're getting beaten through the midfield, and some easy inside 50s against them.
Horn Francis still with only the 1 touch as the Power win this clearance, but it's only to the edge of the centre square. It comes off hands back to Rosie. Now here's a go. It's Mead from 45. Lowers the eyes and has a ping at goal.
Dang.
That's his second.
That's how you do it.
Straight out of the middle, Jackson Mead with his second goal, and Port Adelaide draw a little closer yet again. 6-4-40 to 4-5-29. It's back to 11 points, 24 gone second term.
Big forwards can't do it. Running through, kick it over their head, but really quality. That was there. There's just sort of that randomness, a couple of really good short handballs to runners coming through, and me just on the end of that one. I think Rosie really helped set that one. Even Horn Francis, while he didn't get a touch, he put that into the advantage of his teammate, and that's the way they're going to have to score, Matty Promise.
Yeah, well, it is one of their key areas, and a couple of their best users got involved there. Centre bounce is so important in the modern game. Whatever side looks like they're winning, they just power forward, and if you're not strong there, you'll copy a lot on the scoreboard like the Suns did then.
Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus, your experts on this Sunday at Carrara on ABC Sport. It's Gold Coast by 11 points, and there's a whistle at the stoppage. Hold on.
We're in the goal square. Horn Francis wasn't in the goal square.
So is this a 6-6-6 warning?
Should be.
They might have already given one.
Free kick.
Hold on. Finlayson's talking to the goal umpire. Field umpire in the middle of the ground's pointing as if it's a free kick to Gold Coast.
Must have already had a warning.
They must have had the warning. Okay. So Moyle's got the free kick for the Suns in the middle of the ground. Off the restart. Okay. Long kick towards full forward for the Suns. 2-on-2. Long gets to the front. Got a hand. Can't take the mark. Rode by Houston of Port. Hands it to the Zirk Thatcher. Rushed kick high off Burn. Jones nudged underneath it by Butterick. That was a bit too easy for Connor Butterick. And he's taken the mark 55 metres out. From inside the centre square, right foot drop punt to full forward. Lukosius flies, can't mark. Long does the roving at the front of the pack, fumbles it, but Ainsworth picks up and snaps and goals. And that's another for the Suns. And the Port defenders getting around each other. They think, well, what's going on down there? That's 5 goals to 1 in this quarter. 5 straight to 1-3. Gold Coast 7 goals 4-46 to Port Adelaide's 4-5-29.
Jeez, he really had to get up and under that to get that through there, Ainsworth, because he would have pretty much got touched if he tried to kick it any other way. But that said, the defenders of Port, I'm not sure if they're set up okay. They had a running jump, just luck's of fortune, very good crumb and a good goal.
So Port are winning the inside 50s, 27-25.
What have they had this quarter, Q?
I will get that stat for you. Michael's playing with the computer. 16 for Port, 11 for Gold Coast this term, Matthew.
And this quarter alone, Connor Rosie's had 6 clearances and 4 centre bounce clearances as well. They still can't convert.
16 inside 50s for 1 goal.
That's not good. Conversion is not good. It goes straight inside 50 again for the Gold Coast. It's extracted by Houston. He's made it very difficult for Travis Spoke, but he did beautifully against Holman. Gave the handball off to Rosie, who's racking him up this quarter. Here's the little sand wedge, finds Burn Jones just beyond centre wing on the outer side. The hyphen comes straight back inboard to find Mead. A couple of handy goals for Port so far from Mead. Just forward to centre wing. Now he goes back to the outer to find Houston again. They're all back and set up in defence, so Houston goes 55 out, but very wide to Boak. Boak tries to measure one into the lead of Horn Francis. I tell you what, Bodie Hewlin is no slouch when it comes to body work, but that was strong hands from Horn Francis. Took the mark 45 out, sharp angle to the right.
Super mark. He was not just all over him. There's rashes that'd be less all over him than that. That said, he hasn't had a huge game. He's given away a lot of free kicks, but if he can start to get on the scoreboard, they'll be very happy with that.
So only the one accredited disposal so far for Jason Horn-Francis. Late in the second term, on a very wide angle. He gives it every chance. Oh, what a kick. Horn-Francis with his first goal. Port get their fifth. 7-4-46 to 5-5-35. Back to an 11-point margin, 28 gone second quarter.
Yeah, a bit better build-up then, Acker. They didn't just bomb it into their tools who were getting massacred by the Suns' backs. They just waited while the numbers flooded back, waited for that little pocket of space to open up. As we mentioned, an outstanding grab, but rather than just blaze away and the ball's been bouncing out of there, they took their time, got some numbers in there and gave it to a guy who's an absolute amazing finisher.
Yeah, and that was exactly what they did. Actually, the opposite to what they normally do, coming in the corridor. Boak, it's funny, Boak, he's having not a great part of the year. He's been really low on the output, but when he plays against the Suns, he always does very well. His history against the Suns is impeccable.
Is he one of the guys left that you would have played against, Acker?
Probably, yeah.
When did you finish, Acker?
Oak and Pendles.
Yeah, he started 07.
Yep, so there's not many of them around there, Jace. Centre clearance here. Flanders out the back. Acosta dumped by the tackle of Mead. Play onto advantage. He got the hand pass to Anderson. Hands it off to Moyle. The big Suns ruckman kicks deep for the hosts. Zirk Thatcher got cleaned up by his own man. Alir knocked him off the ball. Ricochet falls to Roses and he kicks his second goal. What a calamity. Zirk Thatcher did a great job there, but Alir collected him, and Roses was there to snap an immediate answer back to 17 points the margin here at Gold Coast 8-4-52 to Port Adelaide 5-5-35.
That's a coach killer right there, Matty Primus. You got three flying. Not only that, you took everyone out, comes straight down, and of course one of the guys who was flying, there's his man in Roses. And another beautiful left foot snap. He is playing well, and this quarter he's playing even better, and he'll take them every day of the week.
Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yeah, add injury to insult. Miles Bergman, he has limped out of that contest at the back there, and he's come straight off. He's in a little bit of trouble. I'll let you know how he's travelling.
So Port down to 3 on the bench, and now Bergman going off will give them 2 fit players on the bench. Goodness me, it's falling apart for them as it's slapped forward there for the Suns yet again. They'll battle hard though through Boak. He's been a champion all through his career. Handball through to Sweet. Sweet, well, pressured, got it back to Rosie, tackled by 3. Great handball back over to Mead. Inside 50, Horn Francis nudged underneath the ball. No, ball spills to Collins, back to Ballard. He just hacks it out there. It's going to be coming back perhaps with Mead tracking the ball to the boundary line. He did well. Handball over to Burgoyne. Put him under pressure though. Burgoyne swung to the ground, holding the agate, and it is paid. That's a fine tackle there by Malcolm Roses, who's scored a couple for the Gold Coast Suns. He's got it just forward of left half back against the boundary line.
That's some tackle too.
Ferocious. Burgoyne now encroaches as Roses has caught a play on, so Roses runs past him. Has a bounce to the wing. His kick forward is poor, and there we get it. Roses to Rosie. That was a thorny pass, wasn't it, from the Gold Coast Sun, who's kicked to. Cue the canned laughter at the end of the first half. That's the end of the second term, and Gold Coast trailed by 4 points at quarter time, but they now lead by 17. 6 goals straight for Gold Coast in that term. 6 straight to Port Adelaide's 2 goals 3. It's the Suns 8 goals 4-52, leading the Powers 5-5-35. As for Gold Coast, Mal Roses has got 2 goals. Jack Lukosius has 2 goals. A goal to Flanders, a goal to Ainsworth, a goal to King, and a goal to Johnston. While for Port Adelaide, Mead has a couple, and the others, Wines and Horn Francis. So it was Port by 4 at quarter time, Now it's Gold Coast by 17. To come later today, it's Richmond and Greater Western Sydney from the MCG, and then West Coast will play Brisbane as well from Perth Stadium. We've got an extended news break coming up at halftime, so just a very quick 20 or 30 seconds from our experts, Jason Ackermanis and Matthew Travis.
Very entertaining half. Port Adelaide will be ruining the fact that they cannot find a target inside forward 50, I'd say, Matty Promise. Other than that, the Gold Coast press has been great. I'm concerned not just for that. That's more of a concern than, unfortunately, the injuries that they've now got.
Yeah. Well, it's been an issue for Port when they don't play well or they struggle. They dominate inside 50s, but they struggle to score, and it's their injuries. And they're either too tall or there's no pressure. And in that quarter there, they weren't able to mark the ball, and the ball just bounced out of there far too easy. And the Suns ins, the 5 in, there was a lot of youth that brought speed in, and speed is certainly killing Port at the moment.
Thanks, gentlemen. We've got a bit of an extended break at halftime today because of the dramatic developments in the United States. Gold Coast 8-4-52, leading Port Adelaide 5-5-35. It's halftime at Carrara. The Suns lead by 17 points. We'll be back for the third term, but for now, let's head to the ABC newsroom.
Good afternoon. I'm Sally Sara. Welcome to this special program. Former US President Donald Trump has been injured during a shooting at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Secret Service agents swarmed Mr. Trump after shots rang out. The former president had blood dripping from his ear as he was rushed off the stage, but he defiantly raised his fist in the air. A gunman and one audience member were killed in the incident. Here's the audio of what happened.
Take a look at what happened.
Hawkeye's here. Shooters down. Are we good to move? We're clear. We're clear. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay. Watch out.
You can hear the sounds there of this assassination attempt against the former US President Donald Trump at a rally near Butler in Pennsylvania. The Secret Service says that the former president is safe, and a spokesperson for the Trump campaign says he's fine after the heinous act. President Joe Biden has spoken. He says there's no place for political violence, and we've heard reports that Mr. Biden has spoken with Donald Trump in the past few hours. Here's what the president had to say.
It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem.
That's the US President Joe Biden there. Well, reaction is now beginning to flow in from leaders around the world, including from here in Australia. The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has addressed the media this afternoon, saying he's shocked by the scenes in the US.
I'm relieved by the news that the former president is safe and doing fine, and I wish him and his family well. I applaud the swift work of US security agencies. I'm also saddened by reports that a member of the audience has lost their life and other attendees have been injured, and I send my condolences on behalf of Australia to their loved ones in this time of grief. Let us be clear. The people at this event, the candidate, the crowd, the free press covering it, were all participating in the democratic process. In Australia, as in the United States, the essence and the purpose of our democracies is that we can express our views, debate our disagreements, and resolve our differences peacefully. We do so with respect for each other and in the spirit of a shared love of our country. Any act of violence is an affront to that and must be condemned unequivocally.
That's the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese there. Well, US political columnist Selena Zito was right near Donald Trump when he was shot. She told CNN what she saw.
So I was just feet from him. We had just moved to his left, I think it was his left, and I heard the pop, 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 and saw the president go down. You could see this little streak of red on his face, and then there were 3 more shots after that. I don't know. I haven't seen much reporting because there really was no service out there afterwards. But I saw him go down.
That's political columnist Selena Zito, who witnessed the shooting at the Donald Trump rally. This man told the BBC that he saw the suspected shooter before the incident.
We noticed a guy bear crawling up the roof of the building 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. Next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
One of the attendees at the Trump rally was Bryant Brzezowski, who's told the ABC his immediate fear was for his fiancée who was with him.
The shooting happened right behind us. So what happened, we were listening to him talk. I think it was about 8 or 10 minutes into him speaking. And then there were 3 consecutive shots, boom, boom, boom. And everybody looked around immediately. I heard somebody scream. I saw Trump go down. And then everybody else just started yelling, get down, get down. 2 people, 2 grown men jumped on my fiance to protect her. One of them was very nice and said, listen, I'm a father. I'd rather let them shoot me first than shoot you. And then I jumped on 2 little girls, one age, I'm assuming 6 and another one 8, to help protect them. And I was trying to help them and make sure that they were okay. But after the shots stopped, after the first 3, we saw about 6 to 8 cops running gun in hand towards where we heard the firing come from. And then after that, we heard 8 to probably 10 consecutive shots after that. And after all the shots stopped, people started standing up, looking around. People opened the gate behind us, and then we immediately started fleeing the scene. We had people yelling, stop running, and thankfully people listened. No one got trampled, at least to my knowledge, that I saw, and everybody was calmly leaving the premises, at least as calm as they could after such a terrible thing happened. Sadly, I do not think it will be possible to fully remove politics from this situation, and not to mention he was the previous president of the United States. So to say it's not going to be politicized, or at least completely over-politicized, would be a big old lie. I hope that people realize that this stunt isn't, this terrible, terrible thing that this person did isn't just something to see purely through a political lens. I hope that people show grace in this time and they realize that what happened was real and not just political. Because it was an act of malice, whether political or not. It was a terrible action carried out by a terrible person.
That's one of the witnesses at the rally in Pennsylvania. Well, Dr. Emma Shortis is a historian and writer with the Australian Institute who focuses on US politics. Emma, what does this mean for the United States standing internationally, do you think?
The first thing I would say is that, again, it's very early. We don't know a lot about what has happened. So I think we need to be cautious about coming to any rapid conclusions. But certainly, the world has already been watching the United States with bated breath, given the volatility of the political situation there. And I think concerns will only grow about the normalisation and the potential increase in political violence in, what is the most powerful country in the world.
What have we seen in the way that institutions and conventions have been respected or not, particularly in the last previous election cycle?
Look, I think Donald Trump has shattered many of the norms of American politics. But the other thing I would say is that there is rich and deep historical context to this. The United States was a nation founded in political violence. So as horrifying as this is, it isn't at all surprising. If anything, it's surprising that something like this hasn't already happened. I think the concern is that given the extreme volatility of American politics at the moment, that the potential for this to escalate is quite high, especially given, the way that conspiracy theories are unfolding on social media and the way that senior political figures are responding. So again, I would advise caution and calm, but it is deeply concerning, what will happen in particular over the next couple of days.
Looking at social media, some of these conspiracy theories, the misinformation, the disinformation, that's already rolling out on social media. How much fuel does that put on to people's suspicions and concerns about what's unfolded?
Look, I think it's enormously dangerous, and we've already seen the potential for conspiracy theory to contribute to real-life violence. That's already been happening in the United States. It exploded on January 6th a couple of years ago, and so I think the potential for that to explode again is really high.
That's Dr. Emma Shortis there, historian and writer at the Australia Institute, who focuses on US policy. You've been listening to ABC Radio for this special broadcast. I'm Sally Sarah. Stay with the network for the latest.
Hi there, Lisa Miller here. Isn't it great to get outside for a breath of fresh air? It's one of life's simple pleasures, right? Well, I can help you to keep something else simple too. Finding news you can trust. You can stay in the know with ABC News. Download the app and receive alerts to your phone. Visit the ABC News website. And for stories straight to your inbox, subscribe to one of our newsletters. It's all the latest, all verified, all the time. Stay in the know with ABC News.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
King gets a kick deep. It's a tough assignment there for Farrell. Front on spoil now. He got it away from Long, but roving is Roses. Lukosius flies, can't mark. Long does the roving at the front of the pack, fumbles it, but Ainsworth picks up and snaps and goals. And that's another for the Suns. Zirk Thatcher got cleaned up by his own man, and Lear knocked him off the ball. Ricochet falls to Roses, and he kicks his second goal. What a calamity.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
It's a huge moving day, particularly for Port Adelaide. If they can continue their winning run against the Suns, they'll be inside the top four tonight. But if they get beaten, they may find themselves outside of the top eight. Welcome back to Carrara. Quentin Hull and the team contemplating matters at half-time, which sees Gold Coast enjoy a 17-point lead over the Power. It's the Suns 8-4, 52 to the Power's 5-35. 2 goals each to Jack Lukosius and Malcolm Roses. Jackson Meads kicked 2 for Port. Power led by 4 points at quarter time. But a great second term from the hosts. 6 goals straight to 2 goals 3. And it's 8-4, 52 to 5-5, 35. In about 50 minutes from now, Richmond take on Greater Western Sydney at the MCG. We will keep you up to date with that. The team news is coming through. There are no late changes for that game. Tresize and Peatling are the subs. So on the Listen app, we'll start at 3 o'clock Eastern time in about 28 minutes from now. So call available on the app. Just choose the right button. I think that's the AFL button for today. And we'll keep you up to date here, then West Coast and Brisbane. So a lot of you, if you're listening on local radio through South Australia, the Northern Territory or WA, we'll head out to Clinton, the team out west, for the Eagles taking on the Lions a little bit later on. There's just one game in the National Rugby League today. It doesn't get underway until 4 o'clock Eastern time. That's Manly taking on Newcastle. With all roads leading to the Cauldron. Across the country, Wednesday night, State of Origin 3, the decider, with Queensland favourites to win a third consecutive series. Blues have only ever won a couple of deciders at the Cauldron, but are hot off the back of a dominant game 2 win at the MCG. So much coming your way on ABC Sport, including the Wimbledon men's singles final tonight, which is a rematch of last year's final. The reigning champion Carlos Alcaraz will take on Novak Djokovic. So it's the 37-year-old up against the 21-year-old.
Sounds like a battle of the prisons. What about that lady who won? She was like 125 to 1.
Bora Krejcikova, yeah, she had a 3 sets victory over Jasmine Paolini last night, winning in 3 sets. She's now got 2 major titles.
I know.
Krejcikova, she won the French Open in 2021.
But she came in injured, didn't she?
Well, she didn't look injured last night.
No, into the tournament, and they were concerned that she was too injured, you know?
Yeah, right. What about the Euros? England versus Spain.
Oh, it's coming home.
Coming home.
Well, I don't know.
I know, it's never coming home.
You can tune in and listen.
Never even got close to home.
It starts about 4:30 Eastern time tomorrow morning. We've got our friends from the the BBC, pumping out the coverage. We're going to take the call. Are they playing in Berlin, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Spain versus England. So if you're around the place, I can just see there'll be so many people thinking, I want to have a decent sleep on a Monday morning.
No.
And then if you're in a high-density area, you'll hear noises.
You're going to hear the Poms loud and the Spanish.
Yeah. So
pubs will be full.
All of those things happening right here on ABC Sport. Meanwhile, we've got a half of footy to decide. By the way, that's the chirping voice of Jason Ackermanis in the background, along with Matt Promise here. Michael Price is with me. Quentin Harlan, Gold Coast lead Port by 17 points. So let's just go through the body count, for lack of a better word, for Port. So we had Lockie Jones concussed, out of the game. Frankie Evans subbed in. Then Todd Marshall out. He was clutching at the back of his right leg. The Power are saying it's a hip injury.
God.
We think it's a contact injury from Charlie Dixon putting his knee into his bum or his hammy. Anyway, he's out of the game. And Miles Bergman, what was the issue with Miles Bergman?
He got cleaned up, and I'm just watching him in the warm-up.
He's out there.
His right thigh heavily bandaged, and he's not moving at 100%, Matty Primus. Have you had a look at him?
No, he's not moving well. When Aaliyah went back and took out 4 of his teammates and they cost him a goal on the goal square, he got friendly fire there too. So, and normally half-time, if you've got a bit of a cork or something, half-time's not great for you because you cool down a little bit and takes a bit to get going. But it's a big 20 minutes here for Port because they have been slaughtered with their key forwards against the Suns' key backs, and it'll be interesting to see if they set up a little bit differently.
I'll tell you what, I'll use a bit of sort of movie terminology here. Like, if you're a cowboy riding off to the sunset and you don't want to take your curtain call, now's the moment to return to town for the shootout and do something good. And I'm speaking about Charlie Dixon. We know he's back into the team. He's had his suspension from the reserves. And he's had his issues with his body, but boy, they need someone. If there ever is a cowboy to return to the corral and do something, now's the time for Big Charlie.
Well, you're exactly right, and probably for Finlayson too. They just can't mark the ball. See, what's happening is the Suns' key backs are marking the ball. You just want a half a contest. Otherwise, Port Smalls can't do anything. You look on the other end, and the Suns' small forwards, they've got having a field day because the ball's coming in quick or it's coming in down on the ground. But, yeah, all their key forwards, Q, especially with Dicko, but the other two have really got to stand up here and create a better contest than what they have in the first half.
One mark between them, Matty.
Mark, really.
Like our day, they have vision, you see, so they will see that going inside 450, that there's a bunch of midfielders and forwards that are popping into spots by themselves on a short 45 kick. So instead of going long, lower your eyes and watch out. If they can actually hit those targets, they'll generate a lot more better shots, quality shots.
So the Suns looking to keep their perfect record at home intact and beat Port for the first time since they won their first ever game in the AFL, which was round 5 of 2011. And for the Power, well, they win, they're in the top 4. They lose, they look at other results, and they may not even be inside the top 8 by the end of the day. What a huge second half we have coming up.
Warren Francis starting deep in the goal square too, so not on ball to start with either.
The countdown. Pricey is queuing you in for the third term here in perfect conditions at Carrara.
So umpire Andrew Heffernan holds the ball aloft. Beautiful afternoon here on the Gold Coast for this game. And a perfect bounce, more or less, to start the second half as Moyle gets it down through the hands of Davies. It's in the hands of Port Adelaide now through Butters. The runner is Houston. He goes forward, the handball to Drew, lowering the eyes. Nice pass to hit Narkle. 45 metres out directly in front. Good start from Power.
That's all they had to do because they do have options there. But, of course, they were sillily just kicking too long to contested areas to their big forwards, which they couldn't buy a raffle ticket in a free lottery. So this is better.
The former Cat in his 5th game for Port Adelaide from the arc of 50. That's a nice looking drop punt. It's just fading. It's going to make it in. Nobody attacked it on the line. It's straight through, and a great start for Port Adelaide here in the second half. They drag closer. 8-4-52 the Suns to 6-5-41. It's back to an 11-point margin.
Told you, Matty, promise.
And Jason, I don't think anyone buys a ticket in a free lottery.
No, I should have had a way better saying than that. I got confused with myself. They couldn't...
It happens, that's okay.
They couldn't...
We all hold each other to account here in the box.
They couldn't run a bath. But anyway, they got a way better then. That's exactly what we were talking about at halftime. If they do more of that, they'll get shots on goal. And they didn't get a lot of shots on goal despite dominating inside 450.
Well, they're starting to at least get a bit more scoreboard traction. 3 of the last 5 goals for Port. And Narkle with his 3rd goal of the season. Centre bounce, it's sweet over the top of Moyle for Port, and the bounce favours Drew. Rush kick inside 50, met by Andrew of the Suns, but he couldn't gather it. Has to play tackler. Ball spills to the deck and up for grabs. 30 from Port's goal. Humphrey taps it out for the Suns, hoping for Davies. His hand pass turned over. He's given it up straight to Lord, and Lord's chip is marked by the sub, Frankie Evans, 45 metres out and directly in front.
There it is again, Matty Promise.
Yep, centre bounce win.
Centre bounce win.
And pressure on the ground.
Because they're defenders, the Suns defenders are giving them too much rope. That's why they're able to hit those targets up unpressured.
The ex-cat in his 2nd year at Port Adelaide. This would be a perfect start to the 3rd term for the Power. Man on the mark, 45 out and straight in front. Evans with his right boot, drives through it brilliantly. Great kick. 2 in a row to start in 2.5 minutes in this 3rd term for the Power. And it's back to a single-figure margin. 5 points the lead to the Suns at 8-4-52 to 7-5-47.
And Drew's been really important. He didn't start in the centre bounces at all in the first half. He's actually gone in there to play on Anderson, and he's actually won the first 2 balls in the centre bounce and got the ball going forward. So there's a bit of a change there from the Port coaching staff. And as we mentioned, their centre bounce dominance, which had been missing in the first half, has certainly come to the fore the first 3 or 4 minutes of this quarter.
They really do have to get quickly back in this quarter, the Suns, because if they get a roll on here, they've got the game plan. They need to kick a couple of goals here, or at least start getting their hands on the ball, the Suns. It'll get away from them real quick.
As you can see down there, Noah Anderson and Drew tangling up as the umpire bounces, and it slightly favours Ruckman in Moyle as Sweet fell over, so the umpire calls it back and he'll throw this one up. A little bit askew. This one straighter. Sweet jumps straight into Moyle. They get it down though. Flanders toes it forward. Bailey Humphrey gets onto it, tackled by Bergman and Drew, and the umpire will come in and throw it up just 20 metres forward of the centre circles, still inside the centre square. Moyle versus Sweet. Moyle got it down. Humphrey couldn't quite pick it up for the Gold Coast, picked up by Davies. Immediately gets his boot to ball to the pocket. King, he wrestles with Thatcher. Ball at ground level. Roses off from the pocket. Mel Roses so close, but one behind. 53 plays 47. It's 6 points the margin in favour of the Suns with 4 gone of the 3rd term.
He had a good couple of...
Yeah, and the Northern Territory Brigade are right back in this Suns team. All Johnston, Jeffrey, Roses all there today as Houston runs out of the goal mouth and slices off a beautiful pass. Hits Drew on the chest. Beyond defensive 50 at right half back. Drew with a very short ball. Gee.
15?
Well, I think it was just. Wines was under pressure but took the mark. Centre half back. Kicks it to the lead of Butters. Marks at defensive side of the bullseye. Plays on with a chip wide. Marked by Boak. True outer side centre wing. Chips it wide to half forward. Frankie Evans is there to mark it. And this has been good throughout the game. It's the next part for Port now. If they don't get the quick entry, Matt, it's like, how do they construct it from here?
Oh, every Suns player's ahead of Aliir here. So
yep, Evans chipped it back to Aliir. Now the long kick to a pack. Dixon with Collins brings the ball to ground level. Who's there to rove it? The captain shrugged off it. Ewell and gets rid of Rosie. Play on. Andrew picks up for the Suns at right half back. Hand pass gathered by Ewell. Pumps them clear with a hoper to the wing. Good kick. As it turns out, Long gets to the drop. And well, the other Evans, Logan Evans, took a glancing blow, so he couldn't stand the mark, and Long has 2 bounces to run away from him. Gets to 55, kicks to full forward. King's outnumbered. Great work, Bergman, to leave his man, and Mark in front of the target at full back for Port Adelaide.
That right thigh heavily strapped, but showing him no problems at the moment as Drew started this third quarter beautifully. It's an aggressive kick straight up the middle. It's well read and cut off there by Jeffries, coming forward to the circles. Inside 50, finds Humphrey. 45 out, slight angle to the right.
That's better.
Big turnover there as Humphrey was just looking for a short pass to give off, but he'll go back and have a shot from just on the 50-metre arc.
He's got it in range here. He certainly should have a shot. That said, exactly like we mentioned, the Suns had to get their hands on the ball. This is a much better 5-minute patch.
So to answer those couple of goals from Port Adelaide early in this third term. Bailey Humphrey from 45, he's launched that. That's a beautiful kick. He'll get around him very quickly. He knew as soon as he hit it that it was going straight through. And the bugle heralds the Suns' 9th goal, 9-5-59, playing Port Adelaide 7-5-47. A 2-goal margin with about 7 gone in the third term.
Told you, he had the Ranger, right? He nearly kicked it over the bloody sign. The big ball scoreboard there.
Easily the range. Once again, that corridor kick, if it works, it's flowing inside 50 for Port, but if it doesn't, the Suns are squatting on that kick really well, and that turnover cost them again. There's been a few of them today, Acker.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Suns needed, just to wrestle, control back, a little bit of momentum after that fast start from Port, and they got their hands on the ball. They've been quite clean and crisp and just beautiful around at times, the Suns, so this is starting to get back into a good old arm wrestle.
The sun is just belting down at Karara. There's a gorgeous scene for a high-stakes clash. Moyle beats Sweet for the tap in the middle. Finds a rover in Flanders. Under pressure, toes it into attack. Bouncing ball evades Walter. Good pressure there from Bergman. Long's hand pass turned over. Port's got it. Mead under pressure though from Walter. Got his boot to it. Wines' hand pass not great. Stolen by Humphrey of the Gold Coast. Hands it backwards to Flanders. Kick to the pocket and King gets to the drop. And his hands are clean despite the attention from Zirk Thatcher. King takes the mark and will have a shot. Angle to the left and 30 metres out.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication with Wines' handball, but the pressure, the perceived pressure, that's what's the Suns' small forwards have certainly, if they haven't won the ball, they're harassing the hell out of the Port's backs and midfielders and create another turnover.
Great view of this one too, Q, right behind.
Yeah, he's up to 44 for the season, Ben King. His best is 47. Pre-knee injury in 2021. And that one never deviated, Jace.
No.
Straight through the middle from Ben King for his second. And after Port kicked the first 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes, we're now, we're only 8.5 minutes into the third term, and the Suns have kicked another 2 to erase that. So 18 points is the lead for Gold Coast. 3 goals the margin, 10-5 to 7-5.
So hard to beat at home. They just have that energy. They know what they're doing. They're playing a very solid game plan. I'm sure Dimmer would be happy with that. That said, the tweaks of Port, they have been working, but now it's Port's turn to try and get their hands back on the ball and get some momentum going their way. Matty Promise.
Well, and they've lost the last 2 centre bounces. Port won the first 2, kicked 2 goals. They've lost the last 2 and lost territory and then conceded turnover. So really important this area here. And Sweet's probably just got his eye a bit too much on Moore. Just jump at the ball. He's got age and experience and size on him. Put some ball into some space rather than worry about your opposition ruckman.
He's taking him too quickly, too early.
Yep.
So Sweet versus Moyle, that's a better bounce. They both jump early. Moyle got it down, though. It went to the path of Rosie. Jeez.
Look at that.
He is so clean and good, this guy. Inside 50. Great defensive mark taken by Will Powell at the back of the packet. Left back pocket. Look, the kick didn't favour any of the forwards, but it was a beautiful mark. He's a very aggressive kick. He finds Sam Collins still inside defensive 50. Loops the handball over to Hewland. Under a bit of pressure, just beyond centre wing. King was the late arrival, but it was a nice mark in there taken by Zirk Thatcher. Just behind centre wing out of side.
Good mark there from Margaret.
In the sunshine on the Narang River side, called to play on. Zirk Thatcher with his right boot, kicks to half forward. Evans the target and takes the juggling mark despite the attention of Hewland. 60 out left, half forward, turns and pokes it to the pocket. And Dixon finally gets a handle on one. Big Charlie's taken a pack mark hard in the right forward pocket, left forward pocket, 30 metres out.
That was interesting, Matty Primus, because he actually got out. He got by himself. The kick came in quick. One of the Gold Coast defenders got off of it. He couldn't stop him. Good mark for him. I think he'll enjoy having the confidence to actually clunk one.
The man etched in Gold Coast history as their first ever goal kicker.
They're giving it to him too, Q.
Dixon needs a goal for Port. On return to the seniors. That's a great... Oh, no, just missed it. Sorry, Port fans. Goal Ump had a really good look. It just went across the face. It's a behind. Suns lead by 17 at 10-5-65 to 7-6-48.
They're swinging in too, so can't be far away. But that said, they're in the back pocket here. They're slow placing what the Coasters can do here with the Suns.
Bodie Hewland. It's a high bomb towards the wing. Oh, good body work from Aaliyah on Jed Walder. Just got rid of him, Matty Primus, didn't he? Took the mark on the logo.
Yeah, experience versus a kid. As Zach had mentioned, he's going to learn a lot of lessons out of this game.
Aaliyah. That's a big one inside 50 at the back of the pack. It's slapped down by Lord. Roved by Dixon. Handball off to Sweet. Off a step to Big Ruckman. Curled it through.
Wow.
Well played, and Matty Primus with a grin from ear to ear as the size 25 slipper knocks one through for Port Adelaide. 10-5-65 to 8-6-54. Back to 11 points the margin.
Oh, if your small guys can't snap at you might as well give the big fella, mate. Lock one in from 40 across his body.
What about that? Bang, 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 bang. So 2, 2 and 2 from obviously just going back and forth. What a game in the third quarter we're having here. What do you make of this, that slight change, Matty Primus? It's working.
It is, but also there has been a bit of a change with to move the ball, but also I reckon they are playing their three tall forwards. So Lord, Finlayson and Dixon, one of them's always off, and so they've only got two there, and then they're competing a lot better. Aka, they've marked the ball like Dicko did before, or they're bringing it to ground and then winning that crumb. So a lot better than what it was in the second quarter.
Beautiful.
ABC Sport with the Brownlow medalist and the former Port captain and coach with you, Aka and Matty Primus. Horn Francis with the robe in the centre of the ground. Not a great hand pass though. It's ricocheted out to the edge of the square. 50-50 ball. Anderson picks up for the Suns. Hands it to Roses. Hands it to Flanders. They're going very wide. Hand pass to Holman. Hand pass to Johnston. Left it behind him, did Lloyd. Picked up by Horn Francis. Shrugs the tackle of Flanders. Gets a right boot to it. High ball back to the wing. Dixon! Oh, he could have lined up Powell then. Old days, Powell would have been picking himself up in different pieces across the geography of this ground. As it was, Charlie just knocked it away. Kick goes to half forward and we'll see a ball up with Horn Francis tackled.
Yeah, that was like watching a car crash about to happen, but it just didn't as the ball gets taken off hands.
It's the thing though, Pricey. Dixon's just all of a sudden 3 touches and he's back in the game.
Yeah, Davies v Sweet in the ruck here, so Sweet just got it and kicked it forward.
And then it lands into the hands of Joel Jeffrey against Narkle. Just on commentary wing, Jeffrey.
Surely JJ is his nickname, surely.
Should be. Gets it to Holman, forward of the wing, just against the boundary line now. His left footer's in the Walter direction. Off hands, though, it goes to the boundary line and it's going to be taken over there by Houston. And it will be a throw-in the left forward pocket for the Suns. They lead by 11 points.
Lucky not to be a free kick then. I reckon he got impeded there. Good old... Was that Long? No. Johnson.
Ball tossed in. Sweet for Port, taps down Roses. Robes, though, off the outside of the left boot, kicked it to the goal mouth. Aaliyah had a play it, couldn't gather it. King does for the Suns. He's gang tackled, got rid of it. Oh, and the spillage goes straight to Noah Anderson at the top of the goal square, and he toes it through from 10 metres out. That was more good fortune than good design by the Suns, but Noah Anderson was there to kick his first goal in this shootout at Carrara in the second half continues. Gold Coast 11 goals, 5-71. Lead Port Adelaide 8-6-54. 17 the margin in favour of the hosts. 14 minutes played in the third quarter.
Chaos ball there, Matty Primus. That's all that was. It's a few little fumbles, lucky bounce, and good goal. There's not much else you can say about that one.
They're spot on there, Aka. They probably had the numbers, Port, to be able to get rid of the ball, but a bit of perceived pressure and a bit of a lucky bounce, and Anderson the right spot at the right time.
Who would prefer the style of footy that we're seeing in this term? Does Kenny think that the Power can run them down playing like this, or is Dimmer happy with this?
I think it's the way it's actually turned out.
I think Dimmer would be happy with this style, the up and back turnover game.
So we're back into the middle. Bounce slightly favours Port. Finlayson got it down now to Horn Francis, who's back in the middle. Almost smothered by Holman. His long kick inside 50 off hands. It was taken by Ballard. He's stripped to the ball. Could have been pinged. It was taken there by Francis. Tackled into the ground by Mac Andrew holding the ball. So Prolific defender for the Suns, goes back, retreats to Sam Collins in the right back pocket. He goes out to right half back to Bodie Hewlin.
Every time I look at him, it's like a police academy movie, you know? Those guys.
The handlebar moustache, is it?
Yeah.
Does that for you?
Harley Davidson. Too funny.
Bodie Hewlin now outer side, long kick towards the wing. Ben King, he just batted it with one hand, and the second grab was sublime, and he just lays one into the attacking 50. Aaliyah read it best. Immediately off the boot and takes a good defensive mark.
Yeah, Walters just didn't hop in a dangerous space, so Aaliyah just be able to read the ball and had a jump at it and denied him another inside 50 or an attacking inside 50.
Aaliyah kicks across the face of goal. Houston takes the grab, uncontested, right back pocket for Port Adelaide. Rolls on. Lloyd Johnston applies a little bit of pressure. Houston's able to chip it infield where Farrell marks it. Forward of full back, and no real deep option, so he kicks it across the face of goal to Aaliyah, left back pocket. Plays on. Here's the long kick. Burn Jones, the leading target. Hewlin leaps and thumps it. Punches it near the boundary line. Close, he gathers it, but Burn Jones is there to gather him. Tackles him over the line. Throw in right on halfway. Out on the outer side. If you are just joining us, Quentin Hull, Michael Price calling the action. Matt Primus, Jason Ackermanis with Usain Bojak on the boundary. Port led by 4 points at quarter time. Suns by 17 at half time, and it's currently that lead. 17 points in favour of Gold Coast. Looking there for their first win over Port since 2011. As Finlayson gets clean possession from the throw-in, kicks Port to half forward, met by Andrew, took on too much, beat the first tackler but not the second. He is holding the ball, so he got past Lord but could not get past Evans, who wins a shot at goal, or at least the option of doing so, from 30 metres out, hard in the left forward pocket.
It's a good spot to kick it from. Now, I haven't heard from our listeners out there about these names. Who's got the most hyphenated names? And is Aaliyah the only one with the same first name and last name?
See, Jace, I forward you the champion data team sheets each week. That's a cue for you to do a little bit of homework.
But that doesn't have those beautiful stats on it.
Evans, hard in the left forward pocket, right foot drop punt. Across the face for a point. 16 the lead to Gold Coast, 11-5, 71 to 8-7, 55.
The only thing out of your emails I want is the car park pass.
I'll give you that one.
That's nicely played. As Jeffrey now receives for the Suns in the pocket, goes long down the wing. Oh, nice double grabbing mark, not taken there by Davies, thrown out there by Drew. Got there to Butters, back to Drew. His kick smothered by Humphrey. Going back on the ball, Lloyd Johnson to his fellow Territorian and Jeffrey. Over to Flanders now, shorter centre wing. Oh, the handball to Bodie Hewlin, who was tripped, but advantage paid. Ball's on the logo. Noah Anderson outside of the right boot is brilliant from 40 metres away, and it found lace out Ben Long. Well, that was a brilliant kick. Slide angle to the left, and Long will have a shot at goal.
Snuck out the back, Longy, and I'm glad he didn't pass it off. He's got to steel himself and kick this goal.
Still going off about the skills of that pass on the outside of the boot. So Ben Long to extend the lead for the Suns. Let's go from 40. He's having a very good year.
Glad he got rid of the mustache. I'm just saying.
The 12th goal for the Suns, 12-5, 77 to 8-7, 55. All of a sudden, a 22-point lead with 19 minutes gone on the third term on ABC Sport.
Yeah, a couple of Ports back, Burgoyne and Evans are just getting lost. The Suns forwards are getting up the ground, and then they're getting in, as Acker mentioned, behind them, and they're just Ports backs are watching the ball. And then, like when Anderson kicked that ball, Evans had a bit of a lucky fortuitous kick forward. There was two Suns players v one Port defender, so that's the second or third time it's happened this quarter here. So a bit more awareness from those guys and a bit more leadership from Aaliyah is needed, because there's some easy shots on goals happening in this quarter.
Eddie, do you ever remember coming from the winter in Adelaide where it's 7 to sort of 12 and coming up here on a 21 degree day where the sun's shining, it's hot? Do you remember the difference? Did you notice it?
No, not in winter, I didn't know. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
It's a perfect day for footy.
Warm for the first time.
I know you're saying some guys can relax a little bit, and the way they're playing today compared to what they did last week is a bit of chalk and cheese, a bit like the Suns when they home and away.
Yeah, I think more so we get to see that the Suns don't adapt all that well going elsewhere. There's another wild bounce in the middle which has been recalled. Tossed in the air. Sweet wins that one over Moyle, but Davies takes it for the Suns. Hand passes to Flanders. Mishit his kick at the back of the stoppage, and Boak gets underneath it to take the mark on the edge of the centre square. Good work from the veteran to out-nudge Ainsworth. Hand passes to Farrell, who runs off half-back. Farrell with a long kick forward for the Power, looking for Finlayson. Almost marked, couldn't under the pressure of Andrew. Robed in the pocket by Frankie Evans. His hand pass is stolen by Jeffrey of the Suns, who calmly dances around opponents and slots a great pass to the opposite pocket for Ainsworth. That was brilliantly done. And now he follows up Jeffrey to be the man presenting beyond the mark. He chips it on to Collins. Gee, Joel Jeffrey, that was good footy.
Beautiful.
And Collins has it for the Suns at right half back. Gold Coast leading by 22 points. It's a game high lead for them.
Long kick from Sam Collins beyond centre wing. Moyle slapped it into the path of Roses. It was nicely cut off there by Logan Evans. He got the handball over the top now. Tap down from Sweet to Wines. Wines overcooks the kick. Went into the hands of Jeffrey under pressure from Knuckle, or perceived pressure anyway. He dribbles it over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in. It's going to be just short of left half forward for Port Adelaide. Half of the ground is covered in shade from the commentary side stands, and where the ball's getting thrown in, beautiful, brilliant sunshine here. Off the hands there, Flanders turns it over. It's picked up by Davies, though. He's immediately tackled by Horne-Francis and Butters, and we'll have another ball up.
5 disposals for Horne-Francis.
Most of them be in this quarter, wouldn't they?
Moyle taps down to Davies, not a great kick. Stolen by Butters of Port, but he's under pressure. Hand pass goes to his feet. Jumped on by Ainsworth of the Suns. Hands it out looking for Humphrey. He's harassed by Wines. Taps it though, does Humphrey, to the advantage of Ainsworth, and there's a hand pass which breaks the congestion. Gathered by Flanders, who has a bounce, kicks forward, and Alia takes the mark. He is holding Port together down back. Takes the mark in the left back pocket, plays on with the pass which is marked by Burgoyne at fullback. Chips it on. Mead takes the grab in the pocket, kicks it to half back where Farrell marks, and Port will now try and build from right half back. Infield on the 45, kicks it over the head of Butters, but Sweet's there to gather, hands it back to Butters, hands to Burne-Jones, hands to Boak, runs to 60, centre half forward, bangs it on the head of Horne-Francis. There he is on cue, taking the mark in the pocket.
He's had a better quarter. That's his fourth.
Plays on, opens the angle, right foot snap, kicks the goal. And that's his second, and it's just what Port Adelaide needed. Act to 16 points here at Carrara. Gold Coast 12 goals, 5-77 to Port's 9-7, 61. 23 minutes played, third term.
Houston's kick, he did one of them through the middle and missed the target, and the Suns were able to sweat on it and cost them a goal early in this quarter. But that time, even though he missed his target, Sweet was able to get their handball chain deep inside 50. And I like Horne-Francis when he's deep. A couple of times he's played up high. I don't think that suits him when he's deep. He's a mismatch for the taller defenders, or if he gets a smaller one, he's better for them in the air. But yeah, inside 50 corridor kick, he's certainly a weapon for Port when it comes off.
Yeah, super strong. He is down there, Horne-Francis. But I will say that the kick in from the Gold Coast is just suiting Alia too much. That's the one they got to fix. And I'm sure at three-quarter time, Dimmer will be saying, this is not what we're going to do. Keep him away from it.
Do you need more body work from the likes of Lukosius and Walter with
Alia? Not working together. They're running into the same spots, and the kicks are ordinary.
Back into the middle, the clearance there from Davies. Just scrubs it off the deck. It bounces towards the commentary wing. Well done by Closey, who gathered it, got the handball to Ainsworth. Back to Davies, who tracked it around. Now it's with Butterick. He kicks it inside 50. Nicely spoiled by King, who was behind and got it down to ground. Now Ollie Wines has got it. He's tackled. He's rolling around on the deck with it. Still toes it forward now. Butters across the arc, tackled into the ground. The ball spills. Drew, he gets knocked over. It's a stack on. And we'll get a ball up right on the arc of 50, slight angle to the left.
Just look at that price. You see how the forwards are keeping their width, allowing the mids to go to work?
Moyle got it down. Anderson couldn't quite pick it up, had it spent before he got it, and was tackled by Farrell. Now off the deck, Rowell. It was cut off there by Port and towed forward again by Butters, who was dumped after he kicked it. So it'll be a free kick down the ground. Just short of the centre circles, it's with Rosie. He's got a man out wide. Delivers it lace out to Boak. It bounced in his path. Boak lowers his eyes, and it wasn't a great kick. Didn't favour Horne-Francis at all. Turned over on the arc now. Davies tackled off it without it. Picked up by Byrne-Jones. That's holding the agate. He's had a minute and a half. Seriously. So Joel Jeffrey, a boy from the NT with the silky skills, has it in the left back pocket.
A kick from Boak was actually not really his fault. It's because Horne-Francis just didn't commit to a lead either back or forward at him.
He's had a good term, Jeffrey, as now Butterick receives the transfer in the right back pocket for the Suns, kicks it to the edge of the centre square. Hewlin Marks plays on with a kick to the wing. Humphrey Marks plays on with a hand pass to the running Holman. He plays on with a hand pass to half forward. King's there, runs around Bergman, hand passes to Powell. The build-up's great. How's the finish? One of the goals of the season from Will Powell with the left foot snap from 40 out. That's as good as it gets for Gold Coast. From one back pocket to the other end. Brilliant football. Gold Coast lead by 22 points. 13 goals, 5-83 to 9-7-61.
Yeah, too easy, Q. Terrific call. There's just no pressure on any of the possessions. Yes, there was some great link-up. There's some great gut running in the back 50 there. Then it was just no pressure from Port. They were just running them off their feet here the last 10 minutes, and all started by Jeffrey down back. He's just causing them chaos, along with a poor inside 50 by Boak. And yeah, that was a goal they definitely didn't need, because they got on top the last 4 or 5 minutes, but once again their inability to score inside 50 is biting them on the backside.
Zane Bojak on the boundary.
Yeah, Jed Wilder's just been subbed off. Surely it's tactical by Dimmer, and Will Graham will be entering very shortly.
Yeah, well, Sam Day injured, Levi Casbolt injured at the moment, and Walter Keeps. That's another occasion where he's been subbed out, the young man.
And he's only had only the one disposal as the ball's back in the middle. Rao taken down, holding the ball. Against him, Horne-Francis now gets the free kick. Handball off to Wines, into the pocket. Oh, was spoiled away from Dixon by a desperate Collins. Dixon got there first, then took too long. Had the turning circle of a B double and got absolutely hammered. Holding the ball, free kick. And it'll go to Nick Holman at right half back. The left foot now towards the outer wing. Lukosius was pressing, but gee, that was a nice mark taken there by Evans. He kicked it down to half forward. Chance for Port Adelaide. They've turned it over though. Alex Davies had it, then he's turned it over. Dixon goes back for the power. He's belted into the deck, and the umpire's going to come in, ball it up 30 metres out from the Port goal.
And that's just that lack of time in the AFL level the last few weeks. He should know to get rid of it far quicker than that.
Sweet with the palm down. Has he got a rover? Not really. I see another ball up in the pocket.
Port Adelaide, though, Horne-Francis' quarter this quarter has been remarkably better, and he's really helped them get back in the game.
Need another goal to power. They're in the attacking zone here. Sweet with a tap down. Emerging, Butters tackled by Anderson. Got rid of it illegally. Free kick, holding the ball. Anderson with the tackle.
Yeah, their pressure without the ball has been outstanding. Last week, that's what Dimmer was the most angry about. He roasted them about that all week. You can see the difference. Once they've lost it, they're just getting at Port Adelaide all the time.
So Anderson's in the right back pocket. Gold Coast lead by 22 points. Long kick to the outer wing, and Humphrey outmarks Logan Evans.
Good mark.
Too good in front. Plays on with a kick around the Nerang River wing, looking for King, and he marks it despite the late arriving pressure from Zerk Thatcher. Too far out to score between wing and right half forward for Ben King, who has kicked 2 goals today. He's playing a bit higher this quarter too.
The last 2 kicks, though, Q, have been up and under. He's got to have better kicks inside forward 50.
I think he's trying to get away from Alir, and he's kicked it near Alir. Wines comes across. Can't take the mark, but spoils the pack. Lukosius close to the boundary line, tackled off the football. And is it kept in? Well, for a moment, now out of play. Boundary throw in with the Suns in attack. Score check at Carrara as we get close to three-quarter time. Gold Coast 13-5-83, lead Ports 9-7-61 here on ABC Sport.
That's a game-high 22-point margin as we get the throw in the right forward pocket. Another opportunity for the Suns to score. Moyle got it down in front of Sweet. Ben Long explodes onto it. Subterranean handball back to Closey. They're back on the arc now. Matt Rowell gives it off to Bodie Yule, and the youngster from 50 launches one. It's pulled left. One behind. He's got a boot on him, the kid. 84 plays 61. It's a game-high 23-point margin with 29.5 gone.
Doesn't he? Underrated. Got good timing. He just flushed that off, 1.5 steps. Bang. Nearly got a goal.
Houston's going to bring the ball in for Port. Lovely injection. 50-metre kick straight to Logan Evans in space, who marks beyond defensive 50 at left half back. Kicks infield. Mark taken by Bergman. Still at D50, near centre half back. A bit of a zigzag move to the outer wing. Evans follows up. Logan there to take the mark. Plays on with a kick towards half forward. From one Evans to the other. Logan to Frankie. Frankie marks and kicks it to Butters, and that is very easy transfer from one end to the other for Port. Butters takes the mark. Tough angle, 40 out.
Matty Primus has been saying it, a little bit easy for both sides in this quarter to transition. But he's running hard, Butters. To his credit, he did work his man over to get into that space.
And this is a big moment in the game. Inside the last minute of the third quarter. A win today for Port gets them in the top four. If they lose, they look at other results and might find themselves out of the 8 at the end of the day. Butters near three-quarter time. Hard angle, 45 out. Right foot drop punt. That is a brilliant kick from a fine footballer. And the reigning best and fairest delivers in a moment of need for the Power. Right on the knock of the three-quarter time hooter. 17 points is the margin for Gold Coast at 13 goals, 684 to 10-7, 67.
What a great strike. He had a little bit of left to right too, Matty Primus. That's not that easy to do because it's actually going away from the centre of the goals. That said, great hard running, and he took his shot. That's a very tough shot on this ground, and he made it work, and that's what good players do, Matty.
They certainly do. He is lifted. He's had a terrific game, but a terrific quarter here, and I just loved how he marked it. Yeah, looked to see if there's anything on, but just had that full confidence in himself. A bit like yourself, Acco. I'll go back and I'll nail this and try and get us back in the game.
His lip service tried to look for someone else. Why would you? Why would you handball or short pass inside 80 metres? Fair dinkum.
Brilliant goal from Zach Butters, now up to 29 disposals and a match high 496 metres gained. As the ball gets slapped forward into the path of Alex Davies, he's tackled into the ground immediately. Umpire will throw it up. Came off the hands of Moyle into the arms of Noah Anderson. Back to Moyle, and once again he's smothered by Sweet. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up. The siren should go almost immediately off hands of Moyle. Back to Davies. His kick forward to Humphrey. He's 85 from goal. He's going to have to wheel around. He kicks it inside the arc into the path of Holman. Regardless, the siren has gone for three-quarter time. That three-quarter time, it is the Suns leading by 17 points. They led by 17 at half-time, while Port Adelaide led by 4 points at quarter time. The goal scorers for the Suns, Malcolm Roses has 2. Ben King with 2. Lukosius has got 2. Noah Anderson, Ben Long, Will Powell, Bailey Humphrey and Ben Ainsworth, Sam Flanders and Lloyd Johnson all with 1 goal. When it comes to Port Adelaide, it's a little easier. You've got Horn Francis with 2, Mead with 2. Evans, Narkle, Lord, Wines, Sweet and Butters all with singles.
Gold Coast lead by 17 points at three-quarter time. Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis break it down for you after the latest from the ABC News headlines.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. Supporters of Donald Trump have described a shooting at an election rally in Pennsylvania as a sad day for America. The former U.S. president says a bullet pierced one of his ears, but that he's otherwise okay. While the Secret Service says a suspect has been killed, one attendee is dead, and 2 other spectators have been injured. The White House says President Joe Biden has spoken to Donald Trump and is traveling back to Washington, D.C. The FBI is leading the investigation into the apparent attempted assassination. The Secret Service has confirmed that the suspected shooter has been killed. The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, says he's relieved to hear former President Trump is safe. Mr. Albanese's described the incident as concerning and confronting. He says there's no place for violence in the democratic process. Turning to other news, higher than expected government revenue looks set to add billions of dollars to the federal budget surplus. In May, the government predicted its 2023-24 surplus would be $9.3 billion. The government will receive the final numbers for the last financial year in September. The New South Wales Department of Communities and Justice is set to be investigated over its handling of vulnerable children. Earlier this month, a review by the State Ombudsman found over 32,000 children were reported to be at risk of sexual abuse in their homes. It found 84,000 children at risk of significant harm hadn't been seen by a department caseworker between 2022 and 2023. ABC News.
G'day, this is Becky Cole inviting you to join me each week for Saturday Night Country. For more than 30 years, we've been playing the best in Australian country music. as well as the overseas artists that you know and love. So whether it's the classic tunes that you grew up with, the best new releases, or the interviews of your favourite acts, you'll find it all on Saturday Night Country. Saturday Night Country. Hear it anytime on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Oh, and that one never deviated, Jace.
No.
Straight through the middle from Ben King for his second. And after Port kicked the first 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes, we're now, we're only 8.5 minutes into the third term, and the Suns have kicked another 2 to erase that. Alir had a play that couldn't gather it. King does for the Suns. He's gang tackled, got rid of it. Oh, and the spillage goes straight to Noah Anderson at the top of the goal square, and he toes it through from 10 metres out. Past a half forward, King's there, runs around Bergman, hand passes to Powell. The build-up's great. How's the finish? One of the goals of the season from Will Powell with the left foot snap from 40 out. That's as good as it gets for Gold Coast.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Way back in round 5 of 2011, the Suns' first ever season, they played the Power at Football Park. That's right, it was the old Westlake stage. Footy Park, the concrete jungle, that was. That was the one and only time that Gold Coast has beaten Port Adelaide in AFL history, and they go into the final term here at Carrara looking to erase that record by picking up just their second win against the Power. Welcome back, Quentin Hull and the team at Carrara here, where the Suns lead by 17 points, 13-6, 84 to 10-7, 67. The Power trying to get into the top 4 if they can win today. But if they can't, well, they might be lucky to stay inside the 8 by the end of the day. Gold Coast record is 8-8. They haven't been beaten at home. And, half an hour of football, which is of high consequence to both of these teams as we enter the run home to September in this 2024 AFL season. Richmond and Greater Western Sydney is just about to get underway at the MCG. You can get a call of that on the ABC Listen app. We'll keep you up to date right here. And for the majority of you, once we finish up here, we'll be rolling out west and getting ready for the Eagles taking on the Lions. Matt Primus and Jason Ackermanis. Where to from here? Gold Coast's lead is 17 points, as it was at half time.
Matty?
Well, just the Suns to lose, not just because they're up on the scoreboard, but the way they have harassed and pressured Port Adelaide, that's a reason why their scores are down. Even though they're statistical-wise, it's pretty relative the same. The inside 50 is a little bit in favour of Port Adelaide, but they are just getting at Port Adelaide whenever the ball gets outside of a contested ball. They're harassing them. When they win the ball, they are just making it far too hard for Port to go with them. They're running power, they're small forwards. If they can continue the effort when they don't have the ball, they'll get a deserved win and stay unbeaten at home, where Port are just going to need to really dominate an inside 50, like have a 20-10 inside 50 and just try and swarm the ball down there and keep it down there and get them on top of the scoreboard that way. But I just can't see it happening with the way the Suns are playing.
That little tweak at half-time did the trick, lowered the eyes, got Port a couple of quick goals, then Gold Coast a couple of quick goals. Let's see what happens this quarter.
Back into the middle of Carrara, starting the final term. It's going to be the Suns with the first clearance through Flanders towards half forward. Humphrey did well with his body work. Looked to lower the eyes to find Johnston. The party trick, handball over to Roses. Couldn't quite control it. Anderson picked it up and just put it into space by hand. Holman dragged his opponent down without any hope of gathering the ball. Should have been a free kick to Power. Wasn't done. Powell picked it up towards the top of the square, off hands to King. Humphrey just sitting at the back. Nobody near him. He kicks his second goal with consummate ease and the perfect start to the final term for the Suns.
What about that?
14-6-90 plays 10-7-67. It is out to 23 points. No, it's not. That's correct.
Yep.
23 points, that is the margin. 1 minute gone.
And that's what you're saying earlier in the game, Matty Price. The kick in from the Suns, unlike the Port Power when they did that earlier in the game, is right at the top of the square, 15 metres out. Lacks a fortune. Ben King couldn't quite get it. Humphreys over the back, if you don't mind. But super kick They're just low, hard, flat. Port Adelaide all in front in the right position, so they think, and nope, over the back it is. Easy goal.
2 goals now for Bailey Humphrey. 23 points the lead for the Suns.
Free big bear, surely.
Bounces one, clear tap from Moyle down to Anderson. Hand pass ricochets to Flanders. Got it back to Moyle. It's messy in the end, but he rushes it to half forward. Clean gather one hand by the bouncing Roses. He weaves, he jinks, he kicks on his left to full forward. Alir leads the race to the ball. Got pushed off it though by Lukosius, who gathers. Hands to Johnston. Johnston off a step. His kick doesn't have the penetration. Marked by Zirk Thatcher on the last line for Port Adelaide. Short passes marked by Bergman. There's something about these NT guys when they all play together, Roses, Jeffrey and Johnston. They really do add a dynamism to the Suns lineup. Long kick from Bergman to the wing. There's a whistle. Who gets that lottery?
Mac Andrew.
Free kick against
Layson.
Finn Layson.
Beaten in the air. Jeez, he's so athletic, Mac. Oof.
So push in the back and Andrew will take the free kick on the edge of the centre square. Plays on. Wow, that's a high kick. High ball inside 50. Lukosius tries to get to the front. They're pitched in front of him. Bergman catches it. On the bounce, he's tackled by Rail. No prior. Ball up with the Suns in attack and leading by 23 points.
A bad result there. Lukosius worked hard on Alir so he couldn't get access to the ball.
Umpire throws it up in the left forward pocket off hands. Rail tackled into the ground. Got the handball away though. It's in the arms of Holman from Flanders to the top of the square. King with the fly and Travis Boak. Back with the flight. The veteran with courage takes the mark in the right back pocket. Lowers his eyes and finds Mead, who's got a couple of goals to his name in the right back pocket, and chips it forward now.
Wow.
Rosie. He goes longer out towards the outer wing, and just going back with ease was Moyle. Just took the mark on the logo, the big ruckman. He's just gathering a bit of confidence with each minute on the paddock. Long kick towards the pocket, looking for Holman. Was nicely spoiled. Wines front and centre. His handball cut off by Flanders, so Wines gets back involved, knocks Flanders over. Rosie can pick the ball up and measure a pass out there. Well taken in the end there by Francis Evans.
At right half back, kicks it around the boundary line. Burgoyne marks, plays on with a hand pass to Butters. Weaves his way to the boundary to get a bit of space, then chips it around the paint, marked by Finlayson. Long way from home, Jeremy Finlayson. Early stages, final term. It's a 23-point lead to Gold Coast. Inboard kicks good from Finlayson, marked by Butters. Hand passes to Frankie Evans, runs to 60, kicks to full forward. Dixon! Yes! Charlie in a 2-on-2. The big Dukes have still got something in them. They're sticky on that occasion. And the 22 and a 2-on-2 will have a shot from 20 out.
Just a lot better kick advantage. Dixon led to the pocket, then he wheeled around, got Ballard chasing him from behind, and then the kick was to his advantage. Able to have a jump, and as you mentioned, Q, once he jumps and puts his arms up, all these big guys, they're impossible to defend.
Good running pattern too to get back into that marking contest.
Just got to kick it. Got to kick it, Charlie. 23 points the diff for certain, and he pumps the fist. And that bicep flexes. He says, come on, the Power get a much-needed goal in this final term. Back to the three-quarter time margin of 17 points at 14-6-90 to 11-7-73. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Oh, he's been down there in South Australian territory for a little while, but we still know he's a North Queenslander, Q, out of Cairns, from the Gold Coast Suns down to Port Adelaide, but he puts it through the big sticks, the big fella.
And what do you say about those NT players? Surely they love when it's warm as well, you know, having grown up there. So today would be just magic. Just magic.
So he went to Port Adelaide in 2016, Charlie Dixon. He's been there for a long time. And that is a goal in the moment of need for the Power. That margin, 17 points again, pricey.
They're just not out of it. Not out of it at all. Umpire back into the middle as the shadows of Carrara extend to the centre circles. Well done by Sweet, who attacked it and gathered his own pill with them. Tackled by Moyle. The ball spills just a little forward towards the Power goal. And the umpire will come in and throw it up yet again. Moyle versus Sweet. Moyle gets this one down through the hands of Wines. Well done, Roses. The flicking handball to Will Graham. Then back off to Anderson. Searing ball. Missed the target completely. Zirk Thatcher gathers and they rebound. He kicked it to Ollie Wines, who just dropped it after the umpires called play on. Well, what comedy of errors. Anyway, Port Adelaide have got the ball. Ballard nudged underneath it, still took it nicely. And Finlayson, just complaining about the delivery, stood the mark like a petulant teenager as they took the ball away. Lukosius beyond centre wing, long towards King. He did well to get the ball to ground. Well done, Burgoyne, who imposed himself, tackled by Roses. Now Zerk Thatcher picks it up and hacks it out. It's going to come back, though. Will Powell took the chest mark for the Gold Coast.
Out in the sun on the Nerang River side, kicking a half from goal. He pokes it deep. Aliir's in the hole, though. Takes the mark for Port.
They're lucky about him, Q.
Oh, yeah, he's been awesome.
Would have lost by 100 points if he wasn't there.
Well, I reckon he would have played a fair bit of junior rep footy here too, Aliir, as a part of the Queensland 18 system. Chips across the face of goal marked by Narkle. He moves it on with a short pass. Bergman marks in the left back pocket. Plays on for Port and drives the ball down the middle of the ground. Sweet the target. Dixon comes to the pack. Splits it, ball goes to deck, play on, nice tap there from Lord, picked up by Drew, kicks to the forward line horn, Francis flies, can't mark, Powell's there with him, Powell runs it to the goal line, picks it up and relieves for the Suns with a kick to right half back, gathered by Jeffrey on the bounce beyond the D50 arc, chips it around the wing, Closey takes the grab and slows it up for the Suns, who lead it by 17 points, 7 minutes played, final term on ABC Sport.
Have a look at those boots. They are super yellow.
Yeah, that's fluorescent lime yellow, whatever it is. It's a high vis. It's off hands to Ben Long. Good hands to Flanders. Equally good handball to Ainsworth under enormous pressure to Rao by hand. Now he kicks it in the Lukosius path, but Burgoyne, well done. Took it on his chest, full front, and then gave the handball off to Narkle, who then ruined the whole thing by kicking it down the throat of Noah Anderson down the corridor. Just a poor kick in the end.
They had nothing on, though. That's the thing. No one was out, no one was leading. They're all down the wrong end.
Anderson, 45-degree kick, just a little forward to Flanders. 70 from goal. Sam Flanders into the path of King. That was beautiful. Lead here, he said. I'll drop the ball on a dime 3 metres in front of you. Ben King did and took it. 35 out, but it's a very big angle to the right.
Tell you what, he wanted to hit that pass. He had Ainsworth all by himself about 25 metres in front of him on the lead and just ignored him. Ended up kicking the King, which is fine, I suppose, but he'd given the old death stare, Ainsworth, so he should.
Ben King with 2 today. That puts him back into second place in the Coleman medal race. He comes in. That's a nice looking drop punt. Oh, he's hit the post 2/3 of the way up. Shook the post Lee Matthews styles as well. 91 plays 73. It is an 18-point margin in favour of the Suns.
Game's underway at the G. Sorry, gents. Richmond and the Giants underway. Richmond 1-1. Greater Western Sydney yet to score.
It's fair to say they're really struggling to get over halfway. The Suns' defence is well on top.
Narkle marked the kick in at D50, hands it to Houston, kick wide to the wing, and Frankie Evans takes the grab for the power. 3 goals in arrears, Port Adelaide. Evans with the kick. Andrew's going to intercept that. It was hoping for Lord, never got there. It was a prayer kick, and the Lord never arrived. And Andrew takes the mark at left half back.
Like that, he got there.
Yep.
It's like a rap song.
Yep. Long kick from left half back. Towards half forward. Aliir's in the way again. Arcs by nudging Lukosius out of the way. Chips infield to Narkle from centre half back. Chips to the middle of the ground. Boat takes the grab. Hands it to the running Wines. Too slow. Davies made the tackle. Hand pass comes free. Ballard at half back. Intercepts for the Suns. Hands to Rowell in the middle. Hands to Johnston at half forward. Chips to Ainsworth, who marks 45 out.
He's got the journey here.
And Sam Flanders has pointed and said, Hoodley-ho, go long. No, he doesn't. He chips it short to the leading Long.
Who definitely has the journey. That said, you're right. They can't get over halfway, and when they do, it just turns over.
Yeah, they've sweated on those handball receives, haven't they? They've given them off Port Adelaide, but the Suns have been able to chase them down and either get a hold in the ball or force a turnover off them. They've been well coached all week in that regard.
Not much of an angle for Ben Long, but the man on the mark's 45 metres out. Most likely he'll kick beyond the arc here. Already has one. Looking for a 4-goal lead. He's thumped that with beautiful timing, but off to the right. It's a behind. 19 the lead to Gold Coast at 14-8-92 to 11-7-73.
How many marks does he take?
Sorry, what are the inside 50s this quarter, Pricey? If you can have a squiz at it for me, mate. Sorry.
I'll pass that on to Q. I'll stick the binoculars on, mate. As Port bring it back in, but straight down the throat. Who was that to? Jeffrey. It was like he was playing for the opposition. He puts the ball into the right forward pocket. Zirk Thatcher went back with the flight and was absolutely crunched by Ben King.
He's in trouble.
And it was a legitimate contest, methinks, Matty Primus, unless you think otherwise.
Legitimate, but he's in trouble.
10-2 in favour of Port, the inside 50s.
Well, Zirk Thatcher is now on the deck. He's been absolutely crunched. He was going back with the flight, Ben King coming out in the marking contest, and Zirk Thatcher is now on his back as he has the doctor and the physio.
He's up.
Oh, they've got him up now. Yep.
I'd say to be HIA, wouldn't they? Check that one out.
Well, he's very ginger as he's jogging towards the interchange gates. They're keeping a close eye on him, just looking at the replay, and yeah, that's a very big contact.
Having already lost Lockie Jones for concussion today, and Todd Marshall with a glute injury.
They've been in the wars, Port Adelaide, today, as the ball gets turned over from the contest. Narkle's handball was slapped away by Bailey Humphrey, who then tracked it over the boundary line for a throw in right forward pocket for the Suns.
Look at that pressure there, Matty Primus. That's what they're bringing. That's why they're hard to beat here.
And 3 goals the lead.
Not a good thing for Zirk Thatcher going off either, because Elias had to roll to King now, and now he's going to have his hands full with King rather than trying to read the ball.
No one can get clear at the foot of the throw-in, so it will be a ball up. Tossed in the air, Sweet with the tap down. Helen Francis plays immediate tackler on that Suns rover. Who was it? Couldn't see him.
Ainsworth, I think.
Yeah, it was. Had to wait till he got up, Jason. And now there's a bit of push and shove between Holman and Horn Francis, so the up chucks.
Oh, that's a free kick to Holman. Horn Francis has lost he's thrown the toys out of the cot again.
So I was watching the ball, Pricey. What did you see?
Horn Francis grabbed Holman by the shirt and threw him to the deck off the ball. Simple as that.
Right in front of the umpire too. Silly.
Not the dumbest thing I've seen, but it's in the top 5.
Well, so trailing by 3 goals, there's a ball up in your defensive pocket, and you decide to chuck a guy to deck without the ball at a stoppage. Stupidity is one word that comes to mind. Holman, 40 out, left foot snap. He's left it near side for a point. 19 the lead for the Suns at 14-8-92 to 11-7-73. Zano, Zirk Thatcher watch.
It's the middle of his back, sort of just above the lower lumbar, that they're most concerned about. They've been trying to sort of do some pressure points there within. The doctor's talking to him. I don't think it's a concussion concern. He's now got up off the bench and just hurled a bit of water out of his guts. I don't think he's feeling too well.
Oh, that's no good as Port Adelaide bring the ball back up. That's nice handball all the way up the line through Finlayson to Bergman and then to Boak. His handball forward was cut off and then they monster him. Oh, there's 3 Suns players who conspired to tackle Travis Boak over the boundary line. Crowd went off, but it was well done. Boak just took it over the line. We'll get a throw in right in front of us. The pressure was good after the handball chain was good from Port. Throw in now. Moyle slapped it forward into the path of Rosie versus Anderson. Class there. Rosie. Oh, his handball was misdirected, towed off the deck from Ainsworth. Lukosius gathered, gave it to Anderson into the pocket. Long flies, spoiled by Burgoyne. Long versus Burgoyne. You would have heard that in the Northern Territory. Oh, my goodness. St Mary's Club. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Manganine, you're just throwing all those names.
Just class everywhere. The ball's over the boundary line. Throw in.
Game's at breaking point for the Power. Suns lead by 19 points. Can they lock it away at home here? Holman's kick in the scrimmage doesn't clear the pack of players. Oh, Drew makes a tackle on a player that drove his head into him. Hump won't give a free kick for that. Was that? Graham, the sub.
Blood rule.
So Will Graham was the guy there. And who's got the blood?
I think it's Holman, and he's given a mouthful.
No, it's Jordan Sweet.
Oh, is it?
It could be both.
I think it's...
Oh, well, Sweet's
Holman.
Okay, so Holman's leaving the field. Sweet is too, and Dixon's been called up to go into the ruck.
And he give a little bit of verbal to Jason Horne-Francis because he thinks he caused it, I'd say.
So now Lloyd Johnston's running onto the field. Everyone's stopping and looking. What do we got? 15 minutes played, final term. 19 the lead to Gold Coast. Dixon beats Moyle at ruck time, farmed it out to Narkle. Rush kick from half back to the wing. Lord taps it down cleverly to the advantage of Butters. Hand pass to Boak. Hand pass to to the other of the hyphens. Burn Jones. They got the speed wobbles and lost it. A bit like me. Anderson with the football for the Suns in the middle of the ground. Kicks it out wide. Jason's hyphens have got me. Ainsworth takes the mark, Drew centre wing out of side.
Well, they were out then too. Bad fumble. They were gone.
Just missed the target, didn't they, Acco? Long kick from Ainsworth inside 50. Charlie Dixon back in defence. Actually spoiled Bergman, but then went back and got it. Handball forward. Oh, it was overrun there by Houston. Well done there by Evans, who went back in to get it. Francis Evans, that was. His handball and was taken over. The player was Houston and tackled into the ground by Will Powell. It was a great tackle.
It's the tail of the tape, Pricey. The pressure on the handball receiver's been outstanding all day.
That's cool. Oh, that's caused the errors. Look, Jason Horne-Francis has gone for the big palm off and then palmed straight into the face of Noah Anderson. So Anderson will get the free kick. Look, Jason Horne-Francis is a magnificent, strong young footballer. He hasn't had the best day today. I reckon they've got under his skin a fair bit, as Noah Anderson has the ball just forward of the centre circles, kicks it into the pocket. Oh, King got away from Aaliyah, but then dropped it, picked up by Bailey Humphrey, tackled by Bergman. He got the handball away, cut off by Aaliyah, back to Rosie. Good hands over to Houston, and they should be out here.
Houston's kick intercepted though. Burne-Jones was the target, and Powell with fingertip control comes across his bow to mark on the wing. Short pass is marked by Davies. Edge of the centre square between wing and half forward. Davies kicks the Suns deep. Big pack. Bergman leaves his man to take the mark for Port. No, it wasn't a mark, but he's got time to gather his thoughts and kick. Beyond defensive 50, bad kick. Collins marks in front of Lord. Plays on, hand passes to Jeffrey, has a bounce, runs to 60, sets it to full forward for Gold Coast. King's the target, Lukosius is there. It's punched into the post for a point. 20 the lead at 93-73, and time running out for Port. 17 and a half minutes played. Final term. Meanwhile at the MCG, it's Greater Western Sydney 3 straight 18 to Richmond's 1-2-8.
The aggressive kick from fullback from Port was almost turned over. It landed into the arms of Farrell, and he was absolutely belted one either side fairly. Hewland and Davies. Hewland will get the free kick just forward of the centre wing area on the outer side.
Pressure.
Just playing too quick, they are. I know the time's doing them. It's still like 7.5 minutes to go. They're just playing too quick, playing into the Suns' hands.
A little bit of panic football there, just not composed.
There's no one upfield for him.
So Ainsworth has the ball now. He received it from Hewland, goes long in the King direction. He flies off hands Rosie, who's had a really good day, but he needs some more mates. It came off hands, attacking it. Davies did beautifully. Handball off to Humphrey from 40, from an angle. It goes right across the face of goal, barely a behind, as Sam Closey says, what about me? About 10 away from goal. 95 plays 73, back to 22 points the margin.
Back to what you're saying, I think, Pricey, that Jason Horne-Francis is probably a barometer for him. They've worked that out. Great kick in, out the Burgoyne, off they go.
Beyond defensive 50, Jason chips in field to Boak. Marks and shielding his eyes from the sun out on that Nerang River side. Got to be perfect almost from here, the power. 21 points the deficit, and we've only got about 6.5 minutes of playing time left. The switch is on through Farrell to Aaliyah, chip mark. Aaliyah chips it to Narkle, but he's just beyond defensive 50 at left half back. Narkle plays on with an infield kick marked by Farrell. Farrell will kick back to centre half back. Marked by Drew. Now he kicks to the middle of the ground. Butters marks, plays on with a hand pass to Evans. Hands it on from Evans to Evans. And now it's Frankie kicking to full forward. No, Frankie's underneath that. That wasn't Evans. Anyway, it's roved by Burne-Jones of Port, but his hand pass turned over. Allard kicks it out on the full with a rush clearance. Burgoyne's the closest, and he will inbound 60 out at right half forward. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yeah, Zerk Thatcher's a bit sore, but he's running back out there. He's trying to get himself involved in the contest.
Too many hyphens.
Too many. There's three of them. Bergman now receives from Burgoyne. He's 75 to 80 from goal, just forward to centre wing on the outer side. He looks forward. There's no movement at all in front of him. Just about every player on the paddock in front of him as he kicks towards the top of the square. Rowed by Lord, gives it off to Boak. Boak with a snap across the face, one behind. 95 plays 74. It's 21-point margin as Nick Holman appears on the big screen with the elastoplast around the nose. The whole Voldemort thing going there as well. 21 minutes gone, final turn.
That's a bad look.
That's a shocker, isn't it?
Mummy.
Jeffrey with the short chip marked by Anderson. And the Suns are going to just keep their arm's length here over the power. Anderson at right half back with a long kick down the wing. And Moyle gets to the drop to mark. Big Ned. Next to a bloke that looks like Big Ned, Charlie Dixon.
He hasn't paid for a haircut for a few years, but he's playing well today.
Ned Moyle, lucking in the absence of the injured skipper, co-skipper Jared Witt's kick down the line to half forward, off the pack. It's fumbled by Logan Evans, but the Power have got numbers there. Oh, Farrell ran into trouble, got out of it with a nice fend, gets onto his left, high kick from the left half-back flank. Finlayson's got 2 to beat, does well to bring it to ground level and win his own crumb. Jeremy Finlayson hands it on to Wines. Hand pass to Rosie. Rosie hands it to the middle of the ground. Evans is there, 55 out, open square. This needs to be good. And the bounce is kind, but Sam Collins gets there on the last line to run it through for a point.
Oh, cruel.
That might have been the last faint hope for the Power. Gold Coast's leaders 19 at 94 to 75.
Collins brings it into Flanders. Flanders flares it out wide to the run of Ainsworth. They've hit halfway already. Has time to lose the ball, gather and put it to half forward. Does Ainsworth. Powell with the numbers though. It skids past Rowell. Well collected by Bergman over to Alia. Then his short pass finds Drew. He's more direct. Straight up the ground to Butters. Butters now to Boak, who's had 10 disposals now in this final term, Travis Boak. He gets it out wider to Lord, puts it to half forward, spoiled away from Byrne-Jones and into the hands there of Evans. Evans gives it back to Boak, who gets belted as he kicks a goal. Well done, the veteran. Hasn't scored a lot of goals this year, Travis Boak. In fact, he is actually, that's his first one. There you go. 1 goal, 11 for the year to Travis Boak. It's timely, but could it be too late for Port Power? Drags them back to within 14. 14-11, 95 to 12-9 to 81. 23 gone, final quarter.
Well, might give them a heartbeat. As Zach has mentioned a few times, they just don't have any forwards ahead of the ball. They're all working up the ground and they can't work hard enough to get back. They're out on their legs, the Port forward. So that was a bit of fortuitous how that one worked out. But saying that, they're continuing to try and play on quick and ask some questions. If the Suns can hold some composure, there'll be enough turnovers here for them to win the game. But hopefully an exciting 3.5 minutes to come, Pricey.
I think you're right, it's going to happen. They are getting their hands on the ball. They have to play very aggressively, and they are, but they keep going through the middle. You give yourself a chance.
This is Gold Coast's 299th game in the AFL. It was their 4th game when they beat Port for the first and only time. Anderson with the clearance for the Suns. He'll kick deep. 2-on-2. Zerk Thatcher's there, the telling fly to knock it over the boundary line. Yep. Just to reiterate, what were you doing when footy was still played at Footy Park? What were you doing in 2011? Round 5, which was actually the Suns' 4th game because they had a bye in the opening round, played Carlton in their first ever game. So the Suns' first ever win was against Port, and Port has won 14 times since. And we're just waiting to see how costly the break of that streak will be for the Power today. Throw in with the Suns in attack. Moyle taps down. Rowell, no clean clearance. Players piling into the congestion, but the umpire's going to sort it out. So, should Brisbane and Greater Western Sydney win, the Power will be out of the 8.
Umpire balls it up quickly. Rowell got a handball away. Going back is Anderson, nudged off it there by Butters, picked up by Holman on the arc. Gave it to Flanders by hand. He measures a kick inside 50. Malcolm Roses has it 45 metres out. 45-degree angle. Well, actually, it's a bigger angle than that to the right. As he saunters out there, he's basically his right leg's about 5 metres in. And he takes his time. He knows that the clock is ticking down. He's going to have a ping.
Well, he's got the distance. He's backing himself in, though. It is late in the game. It's warm. Kick says he'll be very happy.
Well, he's from the Northern Territory, Acker. As you say, he enjoys the warm weather. He's got 2 goals already, Malcolm Roses. On the left foot, he skips around the man on the mark. He strikes it well, but in going for the distance, he's hooked it a bit, and one behind results. 96 plays 81, 15 points the margin with 25 gone of the final term.
Coming down the middle now. They just handball received. They're going all out here, Port.
Yeah, and why not? I think they're out of time, Jace. Long kick to half forward. Frankie Evans takes the mark, and he looks forward. There's no one there, so he can go quick, but if there's no one at home, doesn't really help, does it?
And find a short target here.
He does. Puts it on Finlayson's head with 3 converging on him to knock it away. Ball's on the deck on the 50. Narkle picks up. His kick is smothered. Nice piece of work from Ballard to gather, feign a little hand pass and then kick a tumbler out of immediate danger. Horn Francis chasing it. Rowell's got him. Ball comes free. Sweet picks up in the middle of the ground for Port. Hands it to Burgoyne. Oh, great tackle from Roses on Farrell. Farrell shrugged the tackle and the ump called ball up.
Oh, God.
Well, they got to do that now. They got to do it more quickly.
Well, they did, and the umpire quickly throws it up too. As Moyle got it down to Anderson yet again. Another clearance for the Gold Coast Suns. They've dominated them this quarter. He puts it forward and going back with the float. Bailey Humphrey had it, then dropped it, picked it up, went around one, went around two, got tackled by the third, gone. he sort of, he was in front of the game and then fell right behind it. Good tackling, though, from Port Adelaide. They'll come back out, and Dan Houston has it at centre half back.
14,526 in the house to see it. Ollie Wines has got the ball in the middle of the ground for Port. Hand passes to Farrell, who chips it wide to half forward. Marked by Butters, rolls on to 50, chips it to Finlayson. Beautiful kick.
What a kick.
And Finlayson marks it 20 metres out, straight in, well, just to the left.
They're not going down without a fight here. They won't win, but they are having a crack, which they need to do.
It's only 60 seconds left. Oh, he missed it anyway, Finlayson. That's terrible. A two-step approach, and he splayed it off the outside of his boot to the left. There you go, Power fans. That sums up the day. 11-12, 96 to 12-10, 82, 14 points the lead to the Suns. And as much as it's kind of been tight, the Power have never, ever seen the lead, Pricey.
And they bring the ball back in quickly. The Suns off the hands of Holman. Tackled by Farrell right in front of us. Will get a throw in.
They were level at the start. They were level two other times in the first term, but outside of that, Gold Coast has led all day.
Hey, what, though? Long time.
My apologies. Drinks. No, my apologies. Quarter time they led with the kick after the siren, so...
Throw in off the hands of Moyle. Flanders tackle without it. Umpire had the whistled mouth, didn't blow it. Now Horn Francis gathers from 70 metres out. He pops it up inside 50. Mac Andrew going back with the flight was taken out at ground level. Nicely done by Will Powell, but he's taken high, and the free kick will go to the Gold Coast Suns as the shadows go over Carrara and the crowd start to realise that something big is brewing here.
It's called a win after how long is it? 15 years?
Well,
14, 13.
The fortress at Carrara stays intact. I don't know whether it's a grown-up performance, but for the first time since their formative year, Gold Coast beats Port Adelaide. For the first time since their first ever win, the Suns beat Port, and how important may it prove to be in 2024? Suns by 13 points. 14 points.
We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold on the top. Run, run, run all the way. Hey! We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We're the team who never say die.
So 14-12, 96 to 12-10, 82. So 14 indeed. The final margin here for the Suns. And that goal to Ollie Lord after the siren was the only time that Port led in the game. They led by 4 points at quarter time. Suns kicked the first goal of the second term about 5 minutes in to get the lead back. And were never headed from that point. 17 points to lead at half time, 17 at three-quarter time, 14 in the end. Suns are 9 and 8. And the Power 10 and 7, and maybe outside the 8 at the end of the day.
We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold on the top. Run, run, run all the way. Hey! We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We're the team who never say die.
You Gold Coast. Well, they remain unbeaten at home. And, well, the required response for Gold Coast after a bad loss last week to North Melbourne. Suns, 9 wins and 8 losses. They stay in the race. Really important win for Gold Coast, and Port 10 and 7. So in front of goals today, plenty of contributors for the victors. 2 goals for Jack Lukosius, 2 goals for Bailey Humphrey, 2 goals for Ben King, 2 goals for Malcolm Roses. That's 8 of the 14. The 6 individuals: Flanders, Ainsworth, Anderson, Long, Johnston and Powell, while Port's 12. 2 goals for Horn Francis, 2 for Mead. There should be 8 singles. Butters, Boak, Wines, Dixon, Sweet, Lord, Frankie Evans and Narkle. Correct weight on 14 goals, 12, 96 to 12, 10, 82. MCG's rolling towards quarter time. GWS 4-3-27 to Richmond's 2-4-16. So just a bit of traffic copping before we do our experts. So if you're with us in South Australia and the Northern Territory, you're going to the G shortly for that game. Out west, it's off to the build-up to the Eagles Lions. And here on the Gold Coast, you'll head to the NRL game of the day. Only one, it's Manly versus Newcastle, but we've got a bit to get through. We'll get to Zane in the rooms. And, of course, our experts, Jason Ackermanis and Matt Primus. Important win for the Suns, costly loss for Port Adelaide. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, a great response. Unfortunately, it's what we've got used to with the Suns, when they're home or away. But I thought the way they went about their footy, their running power when they had the ball, and they ended up with 60 inside 50s, which they were behind a bit most of the day against Port Adelaide. But their running power when they had the ball wore the power out. And I thought their pressure when they didn't have the ball, they had 70 less possessions than Port Adelaide, still had 8 or 9 more inside 50. So it just shows they didn't muck around with the ball. They went direct, they went forward, they went fast, where Port just at times struggled to get the ball out of their back 50. They made a lot of blues, and the Suns just sweated on them. And I think if we remember back to Richmond's style of play, that's how the Suns played today. That harassment, not over possession of the ball, getting it inside 50, and then all their dangerous small forwards. Ainsworth had 16 in a goal, Holman had 16, Jeffrey had 20. They got reward for a lot of their hard work up the ground. So a really pleasing victory, and as you mentioned, now unbeaten run. What's that? 8-7
at home. Well, the only games they've won have been at Carrara or Darwin. So 7 at Carrara, 2 at Marara.
7 at home, so it's
Carrara and Marara.
Roaming.
If they can learn to win away from home, which they got, I think they got Richmond towards the end of the year at the MCG. They're well,
they got the Giants next at the showground, so that's a test in itself.
Make it back hard, but they've just got to be able to take this form home, and there's a top 8 opportunity available. But now all of a sudden the heat goes back onto Port. 3 weeks ago it was sack Ken. Then they had a great couple of weeks, and they all of a sudden a chance to finish equal second after they had one today. Now they could find themselves probably back out of the 8.
I want to delve deeper into your thoughts on Port's performance in a moment, considering the circumstances of injury and suspension in their forward line. But I'll hold on that, Jace.
Yeah, no, it had a lot of components, that game. There was a lot of things to like. A little bit of tweaking from the coaches at half-time that did help early in the third for Port. I think the pressure, as you said, Matty Primus, was the difference in the end. They were relentless, the Gold Coast Suns, in the way that they did that, particularly through the corridor. Turned a lot of good turnovers into opportunities on goal, and that's what you need. That's super hard to beat here for a very good reason, but it's mainly the pressure, and their good players are playing well.
So that forward line with Georgiades missing today, Dixon coming back, and then Marshall out of the game with what the club's saying is a hip injury. It looked like a contact injury to his right thigh, glute or hemi. I don't mind watching it, but I don't know as a fan, Matt. So Port basically rely on the one-on-ones inside 50. The way they structure their scoring, it seems. I'd love your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I've watched them a bit this year. Obviously, a past player of theirs, but they need their midfield to dominate and have a lot of good, nice ball, and then their keys can get off and become dangerous. Otherwise, it's 4 talls, arguably, they picked today. Now, Marshall's probably an athletic type, but it's 4 talls. And when there's heat on the ball, like the Suns ball, and like you're going to get in finals, that's just too tall. Plus, you had Horn Francis down there, who's a different dynamic, but it just did not work for them today. And Collins is about as good as a defender as anyone in the AFL, one-on-one. And Mac Andrews, his athletic ability. So, and that's been their issue. When they have battled or broken even just through the middle of the ground, they can still get the ball inside 50, but they just cannot score because their forward mix just isn't right. And today we certainly got first-hand look at that.
And beneath us, there's a roar from the Suns fans because Sam Collins is leading the team into the rooms. Zane Bozak will be down there to welcome them in just a moment. So Suns 9-8, and here's the ever-popular Carrara charge.
Look at the size of the square
kick
now.
For kick. Now the entire centre square, cricket pitch area, so to speak, has been roped off. There's 7 security guards in the bullseye trying to stop kids. They still run through the bullseye. Let's get down to Zane in the Suns room.
Yeah, there's a lot of very happy people down here that are up against a side who they haven't beaten since 2011, and we know have been in good form the last couple of weeks. Mac Andrew, he's very happy down here. I can tell you who's the happiest. Tuke Miller with his arm in a cast. He's very ecstatic the side's got the job done. Here we go. Have a quick chat to Lloyd Johnston. Had a lot of pressure acts today, if we can get it in before we head off.
Yeah, good on you, Zane. We've got about 6 minutes before we take you in different directions. A reminder, if you're on the Gold Coast, you're off to the league. If you're in the West, off to the newsroom before you head to the build-up for the game at Perth Stadium. While in South Australia and the Northern Territory, you'll go to the G for the game between Richmond and Greater Western Sydney. Wherever you are, you can take your choice, though, on the ABC Listen app. By the way, quarter-time score at the MCG, Greater Western Sydney 4-3-27, lead Richmond 3-4-22. Good work, Zano. We're back to you straight away.
Johnston, I know it's only your 5th game, but you got a goal today and you had a lot of pressure acts. How important was it that you guys hit back after what happened against North Melbourne last week?
Yeah, it's really good actually, like what happened last week, and come back shining the way we just did just then. Well, that was brilliant.
I saw your skipper, who's injured up there, Tuke Miller, and also no Jared Witts. So the pressure was on Ned Moyle, yourself, a lot of the players have sort of come into the side. What do you think was the key to this week for beating Port Adelaide that you didn't have last week down in Melbourne?
Nothing much really. It was just, we just played poorly. Like, some games we played poorly. Well, the boys that did come in, like, they had no pressure. They knew what they had to do coming into the side. No pressure, nothing. They just went out and did their role.
I know the NT boys are really stick fat, but you guys all performed today too. What's it like having this group of Territorians in the side?
Having a group of Territorians is very, it's brilliant. Like, it's like my second home basically. Like, we love it.
Well, I'm going to pass you up to the panel. We've got Michael Price, Quentin Hull. We've also got Matty Primus and Jason Ackermanis.
G'day, Lloyd. It's Quentin Hull here. Congratulations. I'm interested in the messages that you received through the game from your coach, because you seemed like you were on top, but the margin never blew out. So what was the messaging from Dimmer throughout the game?
Yeah, well, the messaging was basically whole corridor, because we knew what they were going to do. They're going to be very fun approach in the middle, so we had to try and take at the shorts, trying to lower their uncontested marks. Yeah, that was about it.
I was just going to ask Lloydie, Jason Ackermanis here. Now, you're winning well at home. Everyone's coming in and doing their part. Pressure awesome. How many more conversations do you want to have with the coach to say, fellas, we've got to be better on the road because it's next week doesn't get any easier. GWS down there.
Yeah, mate, I don't know. We'll just find out next week. We're going to train very hard and just go down and perform our best and, hopefully take the dubs.
As a young fella settling in on the Gold Coast, who are you living with? What's your scenario? A big change from life in the Territory to come down here. I'm just wondering how life's changed for you outside of footy, of course.
Not really. I'm staying down here with some Territorians that I know. Letitia Jeffrey, Joel Jeffrey's sister, and Jai Farah. I've been staying with them for the last 2 years now, and it's just good having them down here, basically getting me ready for when I move out and preparing me for life after.
So, how would you sum up the culture change from the Territory to here?
Pretty. I don't really know how to describe that to you. Actually, I don't really think like that. Coming down here, I just come down, basically coming down just.
Are you a beach goer now?
Well, when I first got down here, but then the cold is like, I don't like the cold, so I'm not really on the beach.
Thanks for your time, Lloyd. Enjoy the win with the boys.
Thanks for having me.
It's only in Northern Territory. We'll talk about the cold here on the Gold Coast. So that's Lloyd Johnston kicked a really good goal today. Just his 6th senior game, 19-year-old kid out of the Northern Territory.
He's a star. 4 score involvements as well for Lloyd Johnson throughout the game, and it's not bad effort. 10 disposals.
So, Suns win again at home. Port fail to capitalise on an opportunity again. Did we learn anything today?
Oh, no, it's all right.
I mean, we always learn some. You know the nature. It's a facetious question. But it seems like one of those days. I'm going to drive up the coast thinking I'm not much clearer about these two teams.
They're both at the moment, with the way it stands, a chance to sneak in the bottom 8.
One of them might flop into the bottom of the 8 and do not much. Yeah. That's what I'll go home thinking.
You can't see him going deep into September.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you reckon, Jace?
I just think that it's a progression quickly for good teams as you get better. Brisbane had to do that. I did that through my career. We could win at home, we flog everyone, and then we go on the road and not much success, and you do get better at it. It's all part of if the Gold Coast, if and when they do win a flag, this is the making of them and how they get better on the road.
Votes quickly. We've only got about a minute before we have to go in different directions. Suns winning it by 14 points.
I would think, oddly enough, I reckon Alia would be one vote. If it wasn't for him and his marking, he kept Port in the game long enough.
14,
fantastic. And I would have thought, is it Flanders? Sorry.
Yes, Flanders, I think, was probably the best.
So you're giving him 3?
Him 3, and I give two Butters.
So the butter in between the sandwich is the literal way that you've gone through the votes there. You went from 1 to 3 to 2. I'll go down.
Change up.
We're just mixing it up.
So 3 to Flanders, 2 to Butters, 1 to Alia. Gold Coast, as mentioned, GWS in Sydney next week. Port are back at home against Richmond, who are currently engaged in battle against Greater Western Sydney. The Giants lead that by 11 points early second term. It's 5-3-33 to 3-4-22. So our listeners through the SA and Northern Territory areas, you're off to that game. WA to the newsroom before Perth. And on the coast, you're off to the league.